This European Cricket Network event is proudly brought to you by HCL Software, Paramatch, and Local Lifestyle.
Good evening to you wherever you're watching from around the world. Welcome to another huge night in European cricket. It is another great time at the Rock and can't wait to get into day number 8. In fact, it's exactly a week since we started our journey here in Gibraltar in this 2024 ECSN. Tonight we're going to see Pirates versus Bavaria. Now I do have some quick toss news. It was Pirates who won the toss, elected to bowl in match 15. But before we talk about that, why don't we go back and have a look at last night when we saw Tarek take on Rugby CC in a double header. In the first game, Tarek threw Louis Bruce, scored 111, 60 out of 28. He played some really nice shots there, the youngster. Latine with 3 for 12, bowled well late, kept it quiet. Rugby CC had a bit of a prayer, but just lost too many wickets along the way. Lost Latine, he was a key man. Sims got the big wicket there, and in the end, Rugby CC did grab a point, but that's all they got. They fell 20 runs short in the first game of the night. And in the second match, well, Rugby CC really did find it pretty tough going. 60 for 7, they laboured on the way in their 10 overs. Ataloya carries his bat for 22, but just couldn't get anything going. Good team effort from Tarek with the ball. I like the work of young Niall Garrett, 2 for 9. He was the player of the match in that one. Son of Mark Garrett, of course. And he had a bit of help there along the way. In the end, it was a fairly comfortable chase to finish the night off. So that's how the table looks at the moment. Now tonight, we will see Pirates taking on Bavaria. And those two teams actually, 2 of the 3 teams that I would say are in jeopardy at the moment. Rugby CC last night, not their best night either, but you feel like the top 2 have done enough to qualify for the finals. It's a battle of survival for the other 3, so that's why these matches are so important tonight. Like I said a little bit earlier, it was Pirates who won the toss. Mark Garrett, their captain, elects to bowl. Be hoping to follow in the footsteps of his son Niall, who played really well last night. Mark's also a pretty good bowler. Interesting for Pirates, they've got Packard back in tonight. That's a big in for them. Harry Pile's done some great things behind the stumps, and Reyes likely to open. Sweeney probably a guy that could step up for the Pirates a little bit. Bavaria, some good players too. Got Jamie Riley having the series of his life here. Also, you've got both Hatchmans in Rick and Paddy tonight. So this is what the supercomputer is telling us, saying Pirates 58%. And I like this move. Jamie Riley opening the batting, so a real vote of confidence in the youngster, as Reyes will get us going here on night 8. And the first one's a misfield, and it's going to cost 4. There might have been Burchick there, who did everything right in theory, but just didn't field the cricket ball. Let's have a look at it on the replay. Just floats in a little bit. Pile off to the races. You can't afford too many of those. Bavaria, they'll be hoping this is their kind of breakout night, although we did see them pick up a win earlier in the series. They only have that solitary one. So it's going down the leg side. I think that win came in their very first game, in fact, over Sloggers. It was a bit of a tense one as the Iceman Houghton saw Bavaria home chasing 96 with just 1 ball to spare. In fact, it was kind of the last ball, actually, because it was a wide. And since then, they have picked up points in each of their other 3 games, but they haven't picked up wins. And they'll be hoping they can perform well tonight. But how about that for Reyes? He goes straight through the gate of Pile. And so Big Andy is the man that gets the breakthrough. Bavaria lose their first wicket, 4 for 1. Vinny Sandu here, Mr. Maximo, on night 8. And I've always loved this gentleman for company. He's going to come and join me again tonight. Louis Bruce out from the middle and into the commentary box. Louis, firstly, well played last night. Your 68, I think, was a wonderful innings, and obviously you must be pretty happy with the results. But right here, we've had a bit of action to start the night with Reyes going through Pile.
Yeah, just speaking to Pile on the way up, actually, he was saying hopefully I can have a good night with the bat. So not the start he would have wanted to the night, but big wicket for the Pirates. Paddy Hatchman comes into the middle at 3.
Yeah, you put the kibosh on him, Louis. Yeah, in some good form. It's good to see. Beautiful night as well. Don't know if we can get this on the camera, but full moon's out tonight and over the sea at the moment. It is quite a picture. And Paddy Hatchman needs some runs. That's one thing that's pretty obvious. Looking at their side tonight, obviously Rick Hatchman, a bit of a key. He's been batting in the middle order. I like Jamie Riley opening. He's in form. I think he can handle himself. He's come on a long way. I mentioned that he reminds me a bit of you a couple of years ago. And every year he's developing a lot. Oh, 2 in a row, and it's a golden for Paddy Hatchman. And so Reyes, it was almost a Control-C, Control-V job, wasn't it, really? And that's 2 in 2. Bavaria a mess. 4 for 2 in the first over.
Yeah, just swings them in. This is just Andy Reyes, really. Just swings them in. People try and play across the line and just keeps getting wickets, keeps getting people bowled. It's another one gone straight through the gate.
It's a bit of a demolition job. Pyle had to take cover. There were bails. There was balls flying everywhere. Reyes is fired up. Pirates been the ultimate hit and miss team, really, the Pirates. They won their first 2, but then they've lost their next 4 matches. So they're hoping to snap that streak tonight. Hatchman has time to think about life as he becomes the second wicket. And now we've got a hat-trick delivery. Now Dave Barley comes into the side tonight. So he's a pretty handy in for Bavaria.
Yeah, exactly. Gives them a bit of batting, gives them an extra bowling option as well, actually. It gives them a nice handy off spin. So good player, good in, especially with Sam Houghton leaving not too long ago. Gives them a bit of an extra batting option to make up for him.
All right, here we go. Hat-trick delivery. Oh, that was right on line from Reyes. Of course, we had a hat-trick last night, Ian Latine, against you guys, against Tarek. And I will say, it was one of the more unusual hat-tricks because the game was kind of a foregone conclusion by then. I think that perhaps he sent out a few guys up the order. This is well struck by Barley, but well handled by Mark Garrett there. End of a pretty action-packed first over. Bavaria 4 for 2 after the first. Still on track for 101 according to that expected score engine. Anyway, 32 days until the ECL. And as someone who's played in the ECL before a couple of times, Louis, you must have some feelings about that tournament. It is kind of next level club cricket, isn't it?
Well, I think the quality of the ECL is probably better than the ECC, I'd say. Just
Maybe
in terms of the fact that you can bring in the wild cards as well. You know, it gives teams just a bit of extra, I don't know, oomph when they can bring in a couple of overseas or a couple of gun players, and then all of a sudden you add that to an already good club side, and it just takes them to the next level, really.
Something Corey says a lot is that what he likes about the ECL is it's wide open these days.
Yeah.
So there is 35 clubs in it. There's probably something like 12 to 15 that could realistically win it. And we know that because last year, Drew, no one had them. I mean, when I saw Forfarshire in their group, the Scots, I thought, well, just give them the trophy. I thought they could go all the way. I still think they could probably do it this year with some of the players they got. But, yeah, Drew blew them out of the water. And then we thought, okay, Drew making up the numbers in the championship week. But then they took everyone on and beat them. All right, here's Sweeney. Said he needs to have a good night. Not a great start down the leg side and fumbled by Pyle. Does get a glove on it, though. Going to come back for the second physical run. Yeah, Riley quick to turn. 3 bonus runs. Pyle, one of a number of good keepers here. That's something I've remarked. You know that's my position, Louis. The standard of keeping here in Gibraltar, I think you're punching well above your weight. Bit of fancy stuff there as well from Pyle.
Little flick back. Yeah, the keepers have been really good this tournament. I mean, throughout all 5 teams, I think the keepers have really stood up, and it makes a big difference, especially when you're a bowler. If you can have the keeper standing up like Pyle for Bavaria does, for example, it makes a massive difference to the team.
Game, really. Yeah, the bowler has to play their part.
Gone.
It's another one. The third time the stumps have been rattled, and Sweeney does step up. First one missed the mark, but the next one didn't. Riley goes now for a golden duck, and it's 7 for 3.
Yeah, it's just kind of the same thing, really. It's if you hit across the line on this deck, you're in a bit of trouble. I mean, a few got found out. I nearly got found out yesterday playing across the line to one of them. But as long as you come down with a straight back, you can get away with it. There, it's just a bit of a heave. Just took his eyes off the ball, and Sweeney mops up.
Didn't have the form there in the shot. Just kind of lost that front side. And the thing about Jamie does have all the shots. That's the thing. So, I mean, that's one, when he looks back at it, again, you can learn from every dismissal. That's one to hit straighter. Also, I get it is the power play, right? But you've got a guy who has just sprayed the first one down the leg side, cost himself 3, and you don't really want to give him a chance, I don't think.
You can probably give yourself a ball or 2 as well. Yeah. I mean, especially when you're 7 for, well, at the time 4 for 2, but 7 for 2 when he faced up. Probably afford to give yourself a bit of time, knowing that you have to probably bat through quite a bit of the innings.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. Gideon Crichton comes out. Number 5, Bavaria, going off the rails early. What I will say, they still do have someone like Rick Hatchman to come. He's been coming in 6 or 7, which I think is a bit low compared to where he could bat. So, yeah, just need kind of one of those players. Need some player, maybe one of these two, to have a good innings, crack that 30 or 40, set up a competitive score. Pirates, they've had their own issues with the bat as well.
Yeah.
And See how Crichton goes. Left-hander replaces a left-hander. It's a little touch on this down leg side. In fact, it'll be leg buys, but it'll be welcome runs to Bavaria. 7 runs this over, all extras.
Yeah, very welcome. I mean, just unlucky there from Pyle. A big deflection. Can't do much about that, but, you know, it's 7 non-runs, really.
Yeah, that's right.
7 freebies.
Yeah, leg buys, the orphans of cricket, because no one really claims them. No one's responsible for them. But Crichton will be happy that that ball does reach the ropes. Gets an edge on that. Lucky does.
Yeah.
Swinging towards the wickets. Yeah, just looking at these two teams, I mean, the average score, or the average run rate, if you like, is 10.4 and over so far, so 104. But both these teams are unders with the bat. Pirates averaging 97, Bavaria 93. So it could be one of those games where, and we've seen Bavaria come back from some early wickets before. If you can just put a fighting 90 on the board, turn the tables, maybe get a couple of early wickets of your own, you're well in this game.
Well, again, all you need is just one person to click, really. I'm a firm believer that that's all it takes in T10.
Oh, this one is a very, very wide delivery. Well done by Pyle. Yep. And Pyle, he's very capable of keeping up, but he probably sees the ball swinging around corners.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you're up, you need go-go gadget arms to stop that.
Yeah, Sweeney's not the slowest either, to be fair. I mean, you know, probably playing it safe because any little deflection goes past you, especially with short fine and short third up.
Yeah, exactly. He's getting that good movement, though. Halfway through this over.
Bold.
Jumps a bit off the length. Yeah, so a few people commenting on our pet duck, Derek, who's been goldenized a couple of times. And one thing, maybe you don't know this, but we now have a Peacock Friday, Derek.
Right.
He debuted in the ECCW. So I keyed him up, ready to go last Friday. You know what happened? Not a single duck.
That's just typical, isn't
Not
it?
a single duck. Plays this off the back foot. Crichton will get off the mark. Yeah, and well, tomorrow's Peacock Friday again, so who knows?
Never know. Hopefully makes an appearance tomorrow.
You're playing tomorrow? Let me just check the fixtures.
Not Derek. That's all I know.
You play Saturday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you'll be safe for now.
For now.
Derek's become quite the popular character. I think I'm going to have to go back and... He was unplanned, Derek. He just turned up one day. He turned up on our doorstep. And now there's all these little... there's the whole Derek family.
There's been a lot of Dereks this tournament.
There's been a few. Barley yet to score. Last ball of second over coming up. Swing and a miss. Sweeney. Well, really, extras were the main scorer in the over. 1 for 5 his figures. There were 9 off it, and it's 13 for 3 after 2. Looking at the table, we're rapidly coming to the conclusion. Pirates, in fact, this is their last chance to get points on the board. So if they would have a bad night tonight, I mean, they could easily be in the drop zone. Okay, they won't drop below Rugby CC, but they'll be finished their games, and Rugby CC still have 2 to play. Bavaria need to make their move. Tonight is the time to do it. Looking at that sunset, looks beautiful there, doesn't it?
Yeah, really nice. I mean, you've got Africa in the background as well.
Rugby CC Sloggers tomorrow night as well. So
right. That's a big game for rugby.
Now we're talking, I mean, Bavaria will, well, all the teams in the next 2 nights will be playing their last fixtures.
Yep.
So Bavaria, obviously, playing their 5th and 6th matches tonight. We'll see them taking on Tarik, taking on you guys, in fact, on Saturday night.
Yeah, I think we're probably locked in that 1 or 2 spot.
Yeah.
I think with the points that we have, I don't think it's possible that we can go down to 3rd. But the bottom
true.
3, Sloggers most likely to make it to 2nd as well with the team they have. But I mean, the bottom 3 is really tight.
But yeah, in a tournament like this, you can't afford to really take it easy or lose momentum. You know, winning form's good form going to the finals. I'm sure you'll be trying to put away Bavaria on Saturday night.
Yeah.
So it looked like it might be just swing down leg side. Reyes decides to come around the wicket to the left-hander. We'll check it out in the replay from straight on. Yeah, straightening a bit, maybe not quite enough.
Yeah, close though. Look close from the camera position at deep fine leg. So
yeah, I think it's a good call. The shoelace undone as well.
Bit of
Notice
edge.
this ball. Yeah, similar kind of balls, just tying it up. Reyes, clean shaven.
Yeah.
Maybe he's going out on the town tonight. Who knows? It's Thursday night. I won't go into our last 24 hours here with the ECN crew, but we've been busy.
Really?
Yeah, since last night.
Ooh,
That one he had to
frisky.
hit, otherwise it was going to be trouble. But he does hit it, and he's going to get 4. So calculated risk from Crichton, who'd stumbled to 1 off 6, although I suppose he's responsible for 4-leg buys, but he'll feel a lot better to get a boundary off the bat.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, you take the risk, you back yourself. You just got to commit, really. If you miss that, though, you're in a bit of trouble.
Yeah. Fortune favours the brave.
Yeah.
Speaking of brave, we went up the first time I've done this. I went up the rock today in Gibraltar with Joe and Mana from our crew.
Yeah.
And took the Mediterranean steps.
The med steps, yeah.
Yeah, so...
See any monkeys?
Yeah. We saw some naughty monkeys, in fact. Anyway, this is another one that's just going down the leg side, I think. And the monkeys were pretty entertaining. I didn't end up hiding a banana in anyone's bag, which was something I was considering. But it's quite a hike up there. It took about 50 minutes for us to go up. And
really?
Yeah, we didn't stop too often. But it's probably good. I didn't know how long there was to go. I was a bit worried I might not be back in time for the first ball at one point. Illustrates the point that Reyes isn't quite getting the same movement from this round the wicket angle. Yeah, but it was great. I saw some monkeys, saw the St Michael's Cave again. I think it's 3 or 4 times I've been up the rock now, but it is every time it's quite sensational, and you meet people from all around the world up there as well.
All the tourists.
Good night, Charlene. Crichton goes to the well once again, tries to sweep this away, but it seems like an elementary decision for Reyes, who has a 3rd wicket here on night 8, and Bavaria fall further into the mire. It's 18 for 4.
Yeah, hit one before. Not this time. Didn't get as lucky this time. As soon as it hit the pad, you thought, Sebastian Maynard as standing umpire would give it. Didn't look like too hard of a decision to make.
Yeah, Reyes gets Crichton in the end. And yeah, you kind of saw the good and the bad, the upside and the downside of that shot. Played it twice in the over. Look, you do, at least that's a shot that if he hits it, it could result in a boundary, and that's kind of what they're looking for at this stage. But maybe to Reyes, he only had 2 balls to go. You've got your boundary in the over.
I think at 18 for 3, you're probably looking at a different shot selection as well. It's a bit risky, especially against the guy who's just taken what now is 3 for 9. Yeah, as you said, 2 balls to go,
I like to go easy on the batters, though, because, again, if he hits that, everyone stands up and applauds and says it's a good decision. Yeah, so that kind of risk-return kind of conundrum that you've got. And I suppose they are only going kind of run a ball. And I think also 3rd over does something to you as a batter. I haven't opened the batting much in this format, but you start thinking, hey, it's like a sale. For a limited time only, there's only 2 out. And so I think, we see a disproportionate amount of wickets in the 3rd over. And there's no... And you also see a disproportionate amount of runs in the 3rd over. It's an action over. 4th, actually, is disproportionately low in wickets and low in runs. And when the field goes back. 4 for Reyes, and he won't get a chance with a hat-trick. He goes straight through the gate once again. We'll rinse and repeat for Reyes, who zeroed in on the stumps. He's castled 3 right-handers and got the left-hander LBW, and Bavaria 18 for 5 after the power play.
Yeah, full straight, swung in, gone, bowled. Quick question for you though, Vinny. Does this mean he starts the next innings, the next game on a hat-trick?
This has been a point of contention for some time. Now, technically, a hat-trick needs to be in the same game to get you on the honours board.
Okay.
But especially with the same opposition, we have a thing called a wraparound hat-trick, which is if you wrap a hat-trick round 2 games, it's its own category.
Do you have a wraparound Hall of Fame?
No, it is unofficial.
you need to get one.
Yeah, that's the thing. But look, what a spell by Reyes. He's right on target, particularly the right-handers. I think the left-hander, he had a few balls. When you think about how many times he beat the bat, I mean, he beat the bat at Crichton a few times, slid into the pads. But yeah, brilliant effort. And it's another golden duck. That is the 3rd golden duck of this innings. And now here's Rick Hatchman to save the day, though he won't be at the striker's end first up. Now Garrett's coming on. Yep. His son Niall bowled really well last night, I thought.
Yeah,
a bit of a breakout night for him.
Yeah, bowled really well.
Barley
on the field.
Barley's still on the derrick as well, just between you and me. He's seen it all from the other end. Let's see how he goes here against Mark Garrett. Over number 4. Oh, I reckon there's a little bottom edge on that. It's a tough one. Yeah, I heard a noise. This is one that Pyle just doesn't really stay down on. Let's see. Yeah, I reckon that's hit the toe of the bat. It's a tough chance. As a keeper, you've got to stay low as long as you can.
Yeah.
Very tough to call those little edges genuine chances. They either stick or they don't. Barley will get a run, or will he? Well, he probably will, to Richie Cunningham. Now, let's talk a little bit about Richie. I know he's a bit of a mentor of yours. He's honestly a great human being. He's one of my favourite guys on the circuit. But he did split his webbing with his only touch in the series so far. He's come back too early. He's taped his 2 fingers together, but he cannot throw right-handed, and he is right-handed.
Yeah, I think we saw him field at short third the other night. Someone's moving him to cover, which is a bit interesting.
Well, there's no, you can really. There he is
in the game again. Oh,
well,
ow.
Well, I suppose. Yeah, let's have a look at that. I suppose there, you're doing a lot of stopping and maybe not a lot of throwing if you're happy to concede the single. But still, I don't think he should be in a position where there's many balls being hit to him. There's a couple is over. Hatchman faces up and he pulls straight. Just get a single here.
Yeah, I mean, probably short third or short final was probably a bit safer for Richie, but, you know, someone decided today that didn't like him, stuck him in the covers and got a field at the one hand.
Hey, Harry Kershaw's put something in here, and I agree that the supercomputer might have just had a little bit of a malfunction, because that's been stuck on 101.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I think the supercomputer is being really generous if that's the case.
That's a very good pickup. I just thought, hey, maybe it knows something we don't. Hey, you got someone like Rick Hatchman there. The fact it hasn't moved at all, though, does concern me.
Yeah.
It's been pretty reliable, the expected score so far, but this might be a day it's frozen in time.
Last ball the over for Garrett. Oh, gets away with a bit of a hack there, straight to short third. Short fine, sorry.
Yeah, you heard it first from Louis Bruce. Rick Hatchman.
Rick Hatchman
Gets a single there. That'll be the end of the over. He'll retain the try. Great over by Garrett. Well, the Garrett's having a good couple of nights with the ball. 22 for 5 after 4. Let's have a look at what's coming up. And we were just talking about the European Cricket League, and it's a month tomorrow. Hey, the other thing, Louis, which you might notice there under Portugal, we'll have a European Cricket Series, but instead of an ECI, we're actually going to have the first ever Western Shield.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. What is
the
that?
Western Shield is like an All-Stars game. There's the British and Irish team, so British and Irish Knights. It's a British Isles side versus Team Europe, so from the continent. So that's something pretty special that's coming up for the first time. How about that for a postcard? As we've got Packard coming in with his off spin. There's the laminator down at long off. Yeah, that's something. That's the full moon on the water.
Yeah.
I mean, do you get used to the views here, or do you still appreciate them when you've spent so much time here? As this is hit hard from Barley, and he's going to get the distance. Maximo! Well, just what you need when you've struggled to score early in your innings, and finally, we've got a Maximo here on night 8. Nice shot.
Yeah, that was a really good shot. I mean, as soon as you hit it, you could hear the timing on it. Great shot. Just over wide, long off. Over the fence.
Because you've travelled a little bit now. And I know you're in England at uni. You don't get those kind of views in England, do you?
No, you don't even get
Nothing
the sun.
against English viewers. They know the deal. And I love England as well.
For bold, slowed it up.
Packard's a big in, isn't he, for Pirates?
Massive, yeah.
As we'll get 2 here. Michael Lamon, he's fielded really well in this series. Been put in that key position.
Yeah, he's fielded in key positions the whole series, to be fair. Deep square, I remember him at one night. You know, he's been long off for a couple of games now.
Yeah. That's the danger zone. Just ask Richie Cunningham. That's exactly where he busted his
got to get out of there.
Almost went the other way. Maybe a bit of natural variation for Packard. Had a question from Dave in the chat asking how long it took to get back down. Well, I've got to say, I didn't come back down the steps. We went down kind of on the road on the other side.
Down, yeah.
I mean, but it actually down looked like it might have been a bit dangerous, to be honest. Hit hard down the ground. And once again, Lamon does the job. Yeah, so we took our time getting down. We went, stopped and had a coffee, had a couple of empanadas.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, one beef, one chicken, just to take the edge off.
I think one bit of advice I've been given going down is actually walking backwards. Saves your knees and your front a little bit.
A bit worried about the cars coming up the hill, but
yeah,
okay.
well, that's the only concern.
Walking back.
Yeah, you got to walk backwards just on your heels. That's done you, hasn't it?
I'm a bit worried if you lose your balance, you're just like a tumbleweed going down the hill. End of the first 5 overs of the night. It's 32 for 5. Bavaria trying to make something of this innings as the sky gets darker by the minute. Well, you heard it from Louis Bruce. Walk backwards down the hill to save your knees.
Yeah.
I'd just be worried about slamming my coccyx into the ground. But now I'll know.
Yeah.
Until tonight, if I'd seen someone walking backwards for an extended period down the hill, I would have thought they were absolutely bonkers. But
It's out.
Gone. Well, speaking of bonkers, it's been that kind of a start to the night. Now we're into the 6th over. We have a 6th wicket. Barley looked like it was just getting going, but Giannani strikes with his first ball. That bounces a little bit short of a length, cut away. Garrett makes the most of the opportunity. Didn't really have to move, so it's 32 for 6.
Yeah, Giannani's bowled well this series actually. He's picked up a few wickets, just taking all the pace off. That's what's worked really this tournament. When you take the pace off, you just put it on a spot, and there's been a lot of talk about this pitch internally between everyone in Gibraltar cricket, but it does enough to value you as a slower bowler.
Yeah, I think so. I actually think the pitch will get quicker the longer it stays in.
Yeah,
you've got to stay with it for a while. I mean, I've seen plenty of pitches all around Europe. Something that surprised me, coming from almost an exclusively turf cricket background. Well, I did play a lot of indoor cricket on carpet, and when I was growing up, a fair few of the suburban games were on artificial, but I always just assumed all artificials were the same. That's not the case. I like this pitch. I think
it gives you something as a bowler.
Yeah,
it's not just hard concrete.
There's a bit of seam in it.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a bit slow, but then you just need to adjust as a bowler. I think you can't just keep banging in, thinking you're Jofra Archer.
Yeah, so it's actually limestone underneath it. That's the difference. So usually your standard Astro wicket would have concrete underneath it. But because it's limestone, whenever there's moisture on it, obviously, the way limestone works, it's what the Rock of Gibraltar is made of.
Yeah.
It sort of deteriorates and sort of reforms.
That's cool. Yeah.
So, whenever there's any moisture or anything, there becomes some just uneven spots, and that's where you see the variable bounce and everything.
And I think that's good to have a little bit of that. Makes it play a bit more like a regular turf pitch.
Realistic.
Well, I was a little bit worried for Julian there as he pulls this one, gets a touch on it, and lucky does. That was almost another golden derrick.
That's the spot as well when you're a slower bowler. That's the spot, the golden spot really. Anything could happen off there. Just pitching it on the stumps on a good length, and you never know, it could roll or it could pop up.
Yeah. I think bowlers that have had success are bowlers that have bowled a high proportion of their deliveries on the stumps.
Yeah.
I just think good things are happening. And maybe at the next level up, you get batters that are super comfortable. If you're going to bowl straight to the stumps, they're just going to keep whacking you for 6 over the leg side. But I think because of the nature of this pitch, there's a touch of variable bounce in it and a bit of unpredictability, a little bit of sideways as well. We haven't really seen batters bossing it off that line.
It just requires you to be able to hit straight, really. If you can hit straight, you sort of meet it with a full face to the bat. You eliminate any sort of miscalculation you may make in terms of how much it bounces.
You talk about the importance of getting forward as well to a ball like this, which is exactly what Hatchman does, but does he have enough? He does not. Lamond takes the catch, and Rick has to go now. It was the shot that was on, I think. I mean, he played the right kind of a stroke, but it just wasn't in the middle, and so Bavaria are going to lose yet another wicket. That's 7 down now, and even the expected score's woken up. It's down around the low 60s. They might be lucky to get that after that wicket. 34 for 7.
Yeah, it's not a bad shot, not bad intention from Rick Hatchman. Just picked the right shot, just unfortunately mistimed it. Great planning, slightly unfortunate execution, but that's the way of cricket sometimes.
A quick hello to Rico Fool, who sends his regards to everyone here as well. Rico's in Cyprus. Had a chat with him today because he had the day off. He said we're so lucky getting the good weather here. And Rico, you are right. It was 19 degrees when I went up the hill today, or the rock. Yeah. And I had the T-shirt on. I had the vest, and the vest didn't last very long. It was in the sun as well for a bit of it, and it was quite warm. But yeah, we have been lucky. Really only one night that's been difficult. Probably night 2.
It's not meant to be too bad going forward either.
Sawyer comes out. Have a look at a wide. Giannani, 2 for 2. Been a good team effort from the Pirates. This is kind of what they did the first time we saw them in the series. They put together a good couple of games. Sawyer. Well, some hesitation. Bowler's on. Richie's got his throwing arm back. Probably burst his stitches, but they will get through for the run. I think he's getting better by the day. I think he was going to get them out tomorrow, the stitches.
Right.
So, the Pirates against Rugby CC matches 3 and 4. They bowled really well, really accurately. Oh, well, I think this is just inside the tram line, but Pyle felt it was so slow that he was never going to be able to get to the stumps. Let's have a look at it on the replay. Well, Pyle, speaking about walking in reverse, Pyle with the moon walking, maybe thinking that there might be an edge that he needed a bit more time to see. But anyway, end of the 6th over, and it's 36 for 7. So, yeah, okay, 7 wides. Remember that Sweeney had a few issues with the wides. had that 3 wide. So I just think they bowled a lot of balls in good areas. They've got the results. A bit of luck too when you think that maybe some of the Bavarian batters haven't played great shots. I mean, Riley going first ball, for example. Hatchman got rocked first ball as well. Chawla's done some good things in the series. He went first ball. Hatchman, we know how dangerous he can be. So Bavaria, at the moment, they're on for 57, according to the expected score. And speaking of the devil, here's Sweeney coming back in over 7. He gets his first one past the outside edge. Shout out to the umpires tonight, who are always doing a wonderful job. We've got Sebastian and Jeremy out there. Umpiring here's fantastic, I've got to say, considering it's such a small nation as well. We've got a really enthusiastic bunch of umpires.
Yeah.
That also have a little bit of entertainment in them as well.
They do.
A little bit of showbiz. They like it. Bold and Sweeney gets this in. Sawyer just trying to keep it out, but he couldn't. Over goes the castle and Bavaria. Oh, well, between a rock and a hard place, so to speak. 36 for 8. Is there any way back now? Louis, as that expected score, dips below 50.
No, I'd love to be enthusiastic and optimistic, but, you know, at 36 now for 8, it's not looking great, really. You know, there's going to have to be some miracle, probably beyond a miracle, to even get 1 point out of this game now, you'd think.
The way it's looking. Well, we saw one Riley. That was Riley Jr. Now we're going to see Riley Sr. This is James, who's Jamie's father. I've had the pleasure of playing with the Rileys a little bit as well at Costa del Sol. And yeah, James is a really good captain as well, a leader in the club, and plays the game the right way. Probably in the, what's the word, the second half of his career, his cricket career at the moment. He'd be the first to tell you that, but he's really proud of Jamie. And right now, he's got some work to do himself as Sweeney's steaming in.
Can he score more runs than Jamie tonight?
Can he last more deliveries? Won't last less. Well, this will be a wide, and well,
doesn't
scary.
count yet.
That's exactly what happened to Jamie earlier. Remember, it was a wide first ball.
Flashbacks.
I'm pretty sure it was right back in Sweeney's first over. So can Sweeney grab another Riley? This time Riley Senior. Right-handed though, James. I just flick the pad. That's why it won't be a wide. It's pretty obvious from the noise. So it's a tough one here because I guess natural strategy would tell you don't want to get bowled out. But then again, if you just play it out at, say, 4 and over or something, you're going to get 50 in.
Yeah, I think it's
probably hopeless anyway. So sometimes you're just thinking, still looking to score a boundary if you get a good delivery for it.
solid.
Yeah, and so that's why it's quite entertaining. Even sometimes when we've seen teams 9 down, it might have been Malta in the Malta versus Romania eliminator in Group E in ECC, and Jasvinder came out at number 11 with about 2 overs to go, and you're thinking, okay, just relax, and then he just smacked 2 or 3 sixes, and so, you know, there still is something to be said for being aggressive, but you don't want to throw your wicket away.
Shot.
Yeah, nice shot by James, and yeah, well, gets past Garrett, who kind of gets the staggers. And, well, interesting one. Pretty sure that's clean. James Riley gets through for 2. It's his first runs of the series.
Yeah, it's good cricket really, you know. Good ball outside off, good sort of late cut shot.
Seems fine to me. I'm just going to check this second one. Is he still on the rope?
It might be. Young George Kaywood may have just kept his foot on the rope there.
Yeah, it has been called 4 runs. So that's good umpiring, good spot. And the thing is, I think also his foot was where the rope originally was, which is always a tough one to call, but yeah, nice shot. 4 to Riley, gets him going.
4 more than Riley Jr.
So noted. Now that's off the pitch, I think.
Be a no ball should be.
Yeah, I think that has been corrected to a no ball.
Yeah,
it was a tough one because it was kind of on the join almost, but
yeah.
Yeah, so if it bounces on the pitch, it's a wide here, but that one for me, yeah, you can kind of see
the splash of
the rubber pellets, rubber sand, whatever you want to call it. Free hit then.
Slow ball.
Yeah, that was kind of in ducker as well. So Sweeney is going to finish with pretty useful figures of 2 for 11. Bavaria fighting, but a long way behind, 42 for 8 after 7. Coming up tomorrow, it's the last day of group action in Cyprus before we hit Elimination Day on Saturday and Finals Day on Sunday. I don't want to play a bit of ours is bigger than theirs, but I will say our Finals Day is 4 games. Theirs is only 3 because of the sun. But
Nice.
tomorrow, we'll have to say goodbye to one of the teams in Group B. Now, we'll say that the Fighters have a fight on their hands. They're a long way behind 4th place. They'd have to upset the Black Caps. Who knows? Maybe Royals, who are above them, could drop some points to Amdocs. But yeah, there's a few things that could happen there. It all starts tomorrow, 6:45 a.m. GMT, which is 7:45 in Central Europe, and 12:15 in India. Rico Full, fresh from a day off. We'll be back with Charlie Hunt. All right, Packard's back. Tosses his first one up. And there's a dot. So Santos probably wasn't planning to play a long innings when he saw the batting order, but he's been called into action. Packard played some really nice shots at the crease when we saw him batting. There's number 9. And once again, it's an off spinner that's on the stumps. And I'd love to know how many wickets the offies have cleaned up in this tournament. Bavaria down to their last batter. It's 42 for 9.
Yeah, I think spin bowlers in general have probably just dominated this series. You know, this just does enough, really. Just put it on. If you can land it on the same spot on the stumps most of the time on a decent enough length, you're going to be in business. So, just simple plan from Packard. Puts it on the stumps on a good length, a bit flatter, a bit quicker, but just got through him, really.
Sajjan Singh comes out at number 11. I don't want to tempt fate, but I know that he picked up a golden derrick in his only other bat in the competition. Now, last time, this is why I think James is having a word. Last time he kind of got stumped unnecessarily, kind of just got drawn out of his crease. There were 10 balls left in the innings, and he got out. So I think what James is trying to tell him here is, look, just doesn't matter if you just don't give your wicket away here. Even if there's 4 balls here and you don't score, you know, at least need to survive. See that? It's a nice looking shot from Sajjan first up to the poor man's Jonty Rhodes. Richie Cunningham at cover there.
Yeah, you want to bat the 10, really. I mean, at this stage, look at the win predictor, 97 to 3, but you still want to bat the 10.
They got 3s, all right.
We've seen wins from lower than 3.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to go back, I'm pretty sure that Netherlands versus
I just refer to Spain, Netherlands.
Yeah, that's always good. There's a few screenshots there. I think it was 3. I think we've even seen one come back and almost be a golden ball, 1%. Thing is, if you're going to say 1% is 1 in every 100 matches they could win, you've got to realise we've got over 1,000 matches in the year, 1,700. So probably 10 times it goes down to 1% in the year and comes back. So rare but not never. That will be the end of the over. Packard is collecting the dots. The economy rate's looking good. 1 for 10 off his 2. It's 42 for 9 after 8.
Yeah, he's bowled well, and he'll undoubtedly open the batting in the next innings, unless Pirates want to shake it up and maybe give some others a go.
Well, that's the thing. But can you afford to do that in a game where if you were to somehow mess it up, then Bavaria are nipping at your heels? So it's an interesting one, actually.
I think you've got to find the balance. I think it's important to have, I think if you get into under 50, 55, you could probably have one experienced batsman out there with probably a less experienced batsman, just so they can have the experience of still being out there.
Nice shot by James as he gets 1, and he's willing to take the single here. I suppose that's the thing. Yeah, I know. I mean, their best case scenario here, let's say we had some miracles happen, they might get low 60s. Even that's not winning you too many, but I suppose he's got to keep fighting. This is almost played onto the stumps. Well, I'm on the Sajjan train now. Let's see him get a run. Don't know if he's got a run on the network.
Yeah, it'd be good to see if he were to get off the mark on the network. I mean, it'd be good for him. Gianni for his 3rd. Might be off the mark here. Turned back by James Riley.
Not yet.
You'll have to wait.
Sajjan, the tail enders there will be getting behind him. He does have a wicket in the series. Doesn't have a run. He still doesn't, but he's still there. These are strike rate killers, though. Tell you who's probably just turning on the TV now. His phone will be blowing up. Paul Stubbsy Stubbs in Portugal. He's the owner of a 13-ball duck. It's the longest duck we've had on the network. Sajjan, what do you got? We only got 8 balls left. Only got 8 balls left, though.
Might be gone.
I have a feeling he might have jumped up, but after the bails went down. I don't know. Not a lot of excitement out there.
Yeah, I don't know.
I was too quick.
Initially, I think it may have been out, but then there's not too much excitement, really.
Oh. Well, he missed, did he? First time? No, he didn't. He's gone.
Out.
Yeah, well, Stubbsy can breathe easy. Yeah, and the thing is, yeah, he did kind of get back eventually, but that is that. And, well, history repeats as Sajan gets stumped for a duck. It's a long duck this time. Bavaria all out 43. Pirates, they jump onto the ship and they absolutely plunder it, don't they? And poor James Riley, he's stranded 95 short of his first ECN century as well. He'll finish 5 not out. But Bavaria in a lot of trouble. Look, here's the thing, though. There is a chance if they play well from here on in, they might not get this game, but the margin might matter in this game as far as the net run rate. Okay, can they kind of keep it to run a ball pace or something and force Pirates into an 8th over? But early on, it was Reyes. He was lit it up with 4 wickets, and Bavaria, just nothing went right. All of their players found a way to get out early.
Yeah, well, that's exactly it. You know, you talk about if they can take it deep, Bavaria's strength, I think, is the bowling. So if they can take it deep, nab a point out of this game, as we see Riley just sort of going for his first ball, could have taken a bit of time, but was probably seeing them well enough after the other night that he thought he could take it on first ball. Got Crichton, who came out, played 1 shot, failed the second. Andy with a 3rd in that ball.
He's fired up, isn't he?
Yeah, really is. And this is the 4th, I think.
Yeah, and again, that's a good-looking defensive shot. Only one problem, played the wrong line, and then Garrett was able to hold on to this. So, yeah, Bavaria is the one Maximo in the innings, and we're only able to hit the boundary 3 times. Lamon with a nice one. As that Pyle looks like a guy that's played a few games in a row, a little bit sore and sorry, I think, just watching Pyle's body language out there, but didn't have to do much because the bowlers were typically doing it themselves. How many bowls did we have? We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bowl dismissals. We had 2 catches, stumping an LBW in there. Sajan eventually went for an 8-ball Derek. And we get a good look at the mosque there, which is right next to the ground. Sky turning dark, and things pretty dark for Bavarian fans at the moment. Barley, their only Maximo hitter, he scored double figures. Nobody else could get past 5. James Riley flying the flag at number 10. Extras, the top scorer with 14. And all out 43. We've never seen a score in the 40s defended. I'm not sure if tonight will be the night, but perhaps Bavaria can have a good start. You never know who Pirates will send out as well.
Yeah.
You know, perhaps there's an opportunity to get at some guys that haven't had so much batting. How about that? 4-3-2-1. 4 for Reyes, 3 for Giannani, 2 for Sweeney, 1 for Packard, and Garrett bowled a pretty good over in there as well. It was one-way traffic so far. The Pirates all over Bavaria. Having said that, this game's only half over. We'll be back after the break to see if Pirates can knock off this 44 and how fast. Only the first of 2 matches as well, so Bavaria, they'll get another chance with the bat before the night is done. Vinny Sanderhum, Mr. Maximo for ECN, with Louis Bruce enjoying his special comments. We'll be back with more cricket after the break. You're watching ECSN, and this is the night series from Gibraltar.
This European Cricket Network event is proudly brought to you by HCL Software, Paramatch, and Local Lifestyle.
Hello and welcome back to The Rock. We are at Europa Point here in the small but very beautiful nation of Gibraltar, and this is night 8 of the ECSN. Well, it's not Friday yet, but it's a bit of the Friday the 13th vibe for Bavaria, who got rock and rolled for 43 within 9 overs, and so this is the equation. If the Pirates can chase it down in 7 overs or less, target of 44, they'll get all the points. If you want to see a proper miracle, if somehow the Pirates could collapse and be out for 30 or less, or not make 30 or less, and before you say that's impossible, well, the lowest score for a team batting out their 10 overs, 14 for 8 by Miranda Dragons against Oeiras in the night series, so it can happen under the full moon. That was in Portugal in 2022. And that was the innings, in fact, that had the 13-ball duck from Paul Stubbs that we were talking about in the first innings. Vinny Sander here, Mr. Maximo with Louis Bruce, and it's going to be James Riley to open up, and yeah, he's spot on. Not a bad bowler, James. I don't think we've seen him in the series so far. Fittingly, starts with the misfield. It hasn't been Bavaria's night so far, but yeah, Louis, let's see if Bavaria can at least get something going their way. Of course, there still is the second match tonight.
Well, I mean, we thought they might mix it up a little bit, but they've gone Packard and Reyes at the top, which is probably bar pile their best opening pair. I know we did something similar last night in the second game with me and Hillman, but I have to see after this ball just goes past Chris Pyle behind the stumps. Has been really good all tournament.
Quieren los puntos. They want the points.
Yeah, they do,
and
exactly.
so they think with these two, they should be able to get that kind of 6 and over pace. Yep. I'm liking a bit more of James Riley tonight. He's a pretty reliable bowler, similar to some other bowlers we've seen in the competition.
Shot.
But this is absolutely boned by Packard. And, well, that's a roofer. Get your ladder out. At least we know where it is, but I don't know how we're going to get it. 6 to Packard.
Yeah, massive as well. I mean, people have actually been on that roof to get cricket balls, you know?
Is that right?
Yeah, there's been people in...
Have they hurt themselves?
They haven't, no. They've been all right, but there's ladders just up the side of the floodlights which people have gone up to go and get the balls in Social League.
Let's keep an eye on if we can get that cricket ball. There's grizzly balls. Obviously, we go through a few of them, but our bosses in Switzerland will be telling us to get on the roof and get that one back. No full toss this time. It's hit really hard from Packard. There's 4 more. So Pirates, no mercy at the moment as this has disappeared through the offside.
No, as you said before, they want the points. They want all 4. And for them as well, it's important, you know, to get out of this sort of tangle in the bottom 3. They really want to push for these 4 points and just get out the bottom.
Because the thing is, if you somehow gave a point back,
yeah, it changes the complexity of
you
everything.
don't get a point, but they get a point. That's why it's important that these points they kind of even out. There's always 4 on offer.
So well played.
It's a 2-point swing. You can get 4 points on ahead of Bavaria here, or you can just get 2 if Bavaria were able to get a point. So yeah, probably the right thing to do.
Just adds a bit. It's a game in a game, as we've said a lot of times. So it's good to see. Riley probably the perfect bowler for this pitch.
Yeah.
Driven into the covers to Julian Santos, who's got some bright green shoes on.
Yeah, he's looking pretty cool in the wheels, isn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a bit of the Back to the Future too about those. Marty McFly in the 2015 movie. Yeah, look at that. I mean, you don't really even need to turn the lights on.
Shot.
Yeah, Packard is having a party here. That first over goes for 19. Writings on the wall in a pretty big font at the moment. 19 without loss after 1. Hey, looking at those shoes, it seems like the heel had a bit of extension behind the heel. Yep. I thought of for fast bowlers, you know how you need to have some part of the foot behind the line.
It's generous that you asked me about fast bowling.
Well, for people that are constantly bowling no balls, they should get those shoes with a bit of extra behind the heel.
Yeah,
so
exactly. Yeah.
I've heard that before. Anyway, golden ball probably not on the cards tonight, or maybe tonight later on. But in this one, yeah, it's been one-way traffic. Where are we tonight? I think we're up to... We went over the 50 today. I think this is 53. Yeah, look at those shoes.
Yeah, there you go.
So
extra heel.
Extra behind. Sajan gets over 2. But pretty good start there to Reyes. He can't score. Yeah, so we went past the 50 games without a golden ball today. In fact, right now, this is our 51st game of the season. So we've already had 50 games. It's only been a week. The season's only been going 1 week.
Crazy.
Technically, started last Wednesday, and now it's Thursday of the next week. Well, that's going to be trouble. No ball called, and 4. So really, they might be able to do this in 7 overs with one arm tied behind their back at the moment. This doesn't help. High ball pulled away by Reyes.
Yeah, you know, just at this point, you sort of think there's not much going for them. So, you know, you can try and make a game out of it, but I think now it's only a matter of time. 20 off 53. They could do it in the next over and a half, really.
Yeah, it could be. Big win for Pirates. Also with net run rate boost. Still possible to be tied on points. The net run rate comes in. So it's probably not as critical, but it's still pretty important. Right, this is a Gundy ball with a capital G. Could be in the back of the net. Oh, well, that is the back of the net, so it won't be a goal, but Reyes, it's an easy put away for a player that experience. Want to say a quick hello to everyone in the chat as well. I know that Kitty's watching from the USA. Chris Schinkel's watching from the Netherlands, and he said that Bas de Leede was voted ICC Associate Player of the Year in 2023. I didn't know that, so thanks for that news. I was catching up with his dad not too long ago, Tim de Leede. He's the king of Voorburg, they call him, VCC, and Baz is the Prince of Voorburg. Having a pretty good international career. Oh, interesting. Feel like the toe never came up. Will be called a wide. Bit of swing there for Sajan. Not a bad delivery. I suppose at this stage, you're just looking one ball at a time, see if you can get a little win.
Yep.
Does that toe come out? Oh, I reckon it's out. I got my spider sensors up here.
Yeah, I reckon. Oh, it's close. Yeah, just out, I think.
Is that down or not?
I think it's up.
Out.
It's a great bit of keeping.
Never forget a face.
Pile.
And Reyes, I'm pretty sure he's going to have to tell his story walking. That's great keeping by Pyle. Well, Reyes needed to make sure that the toenails were left unclipped there and maybe could have had something down. But he's had a very good game when you think about it. He wrecked the top order. He does get his team kind of 2/3 of the way to where they need to be. But it's a sharp bit of work from Pyle. Again, keeping standard has been very good in this series.
Yeah, and Pyle's been brilliant as well. I mean, that's a great stumping. You know, he's probably been the standout keeper, I'd say. And then
it's hard to choose one, actually.
Well,
if I'm completely honest.
Yeah, I agree. I think all of them have been amazing. But I think just the way he stood up to the seam as such of Rick Hatcher and Samarth Boda, these sort of players, Sajan as well, and just his speed with his hands behind the stumps, I think it's just been amazing.
That's a good example. I often say there's 2 types of stumping, the type you have to rush and the type you don't.
Yeah.
And you need to know the difference. So it's almost like you have to make some compromises on your technique just to kind of sweep and get the ball in one motion onto the stumps. That's exactly what Pyle did there. In fact, we've got the 2 Pyles keeping, no relation tonight. So we got Chris Pyle behind the stumps at the moment, but Harry Pyle out there in the number 3 spot.
Yep. Pirates being ruthless as well, sending out Harry at 3.
You can see the headlines now. Gibraltar have Pyles.
They do have Pyles.
Well, that's going to be 5, and we just gave him a wrap, and he wasn't very interested in getting cleaned up with the ball here, so it's going to be 5 wides and misses the next stump. And looked like the kid that took the cookie out of the cookie jar. This is one where you just kind of have to become a human shield and get down, block that line.
Do you want to be a human shield, though, for only 43 to defend? Or you save yourself, wouldn't you?
That's a good point. I often say I had the important bits covered up. That was the main thing. If I was up to the stumps, didn't mind getting hit. Got to be a bit crazy to be a keeper. I think you need that. Because especially, not so much here because it's very consistent with the artificial turf, but to be able to kind of jump down and smother second bounces when you're keeping back, to be able to put yourself in positions where there are a lot of deflections, can hit you in the chest a lot, and you got to kind of love it. It's not a bad ball from Sajan. They're going to go on the hit and they'll get a single. Yeah, so hello to everyone. I know we've got a lot of viewers watching from the USA. We've got Tom Ramage in the chat as well. Tom, hopefully you're well. Iggy is watching from the Costa del Sol, saying sharp keeping. Certainly was. And everyone knows I appreciate good stumping. But right now, they need 8 off 31 for the bonus point. And it won't be 8 for much longer because that's lifted up and out of here. Maximo! Pirates to 42 for 1 after 2 overs. This is the ground where we saw the quickest ever chase in ECN cricket. It was Netherlands in their first ever ECIW, beating the home side Gibraltar in only 5 balls, and he had to feel for the Gibraltarians on that occasion. They had some moments in their series. That was one occasion. The warm-up was much longer than the innings that they fielded for, but that'll happen from time to time. You know, one thing I like about the women's game, obviously we've been showing more of it with ECCW. It was a big success last year. The plan is to go to 2 weeks, and they're 5 and 5. So you've kind of got 2 divisions. I think it's quite important in the women's game that the teams are of similar standard. I think that's something that we've picked up.
Agreed,
because obviously you don't quite have the player numbers you have in the men's game at this stage in Europe. And who knows, maybe we could even at one point go to 3 or 4 sets of 5 with a promotion relegation system. So these are the kind of ideas we've got. Sawyer gets the ball with only 2 required. And that'll be it. In fact, it'll be 5 wides, and yeah, you can see Pyle was unhappy. That ball is not coming back, and we don't even need it back because it's all over with 48 balls to spare. And I think in a men's game, that would be the quickest chase we've ever had on this ground, although occasionally we've had chases in the second over, but this will be an even 2 overs down. Bavaria, well, one thing that you can say is if you're going to have a shocker, have a real shocker. They did. There wasn't much that went right there at all. Not sure if we've got the next game teams. I think we might have the next game teams. Bavaria, they've won the toss. Thankfully, they've elected to bowl. So the next game, it's going to be a different kind of a feel. Yeah. And maybe, you know, after an innings where it's all gone wrong, especially batting first, sometimes it's nice to know what you need. So you can kind of dial up the aggression as necessary rather than be a bit aimless. Could see Sammy Boda there in the side for Bavaria in the second match of the night. Well, we've got a bit of an extended break. It's 1 hour until the first ball. That's dangerous because dinner is around the corner. I might be having seconds, so you better be quick. And so hopefully you can join us for that. But you can have a little bit of a cup of tea and settle in. Still that 1 game to go. Richie with a left-handed handshake, something he's had to practice a fair bit this week. But the Pirates, they were all over Bavaria here, but yeah, the extras kind of creeping in as well. But Packard, didn't he play some beautiful shots in his quick fire 17?
Yeah, Packard, just his ball striking is really good. I think similarities between him and Henshaw this series, just in terms of how clean they strike it off the bat. I mean, other than that, nothing too much to write home about. Pretty standard run chase for Pirates. Bavaria losing the ball a couple of overs, but you know, just chasing a bit of leather for 2. Great stumping there by Pyle.
You can see normal speed. It's a tough call, but you can see he just didn't have it down, did he? And then
didn't fancy getting in the way.
Pyle found himself on the back of a milk carton there, went missing. No one knew where he was. The ball found its way to the fence. It wasn't the only one. And, well, unfortunately, as well for Sawyer, he'll finish with an economy rate of infinity as he bowls none for 5 off 0. But, look, that's the beautiful thing about this game. Sometimes people say things like, oh, what if you did a 2 innings T10? And sometimes it's good to just draw a line in it. It was a bit of a shocker for Bavaria, for sure, but they do have the right to reply. And I wouldn't be surprised when you look at the quality in their side if they can come back and maybe even win this second game. So the second game is certainly not a foregone conclusion. 17 to Packard in just 7 balls. Reyes with 9 before he was smartly stumped by Chris Pyle. And Harry Pyle was there towards the end as well. Hit a big Maximo in his 7. Bowling figures, probably not something you want to look at for too long. Obviously just the 3 bowlers used, and Sawyer, well, fittingly the economy rate is listed as 0. That's because we don't have the infinity symbol in the in the arsenal at the moment. 14 errors extras as well. Look, it's always a tough one. Let's draw a line in it. We'll be back in around about 55 minutes to take you into the last match of a super day of cricket on ECN, the 6th and final match, in fact, match 16 here in Gibraltar to finish night number 8. When you sound to here, Mr. Maximo. Louis, do you think we can get you back again?
Yeah.
Oh, we'll have Louis Bruce back again with me to take you home. Keep the questions coming as well. Any questions for Louis or any for me or any random questions as we head into the last match of the night. We'll see you shortly for more ECSN Gibraltar.
This European Cricket Network event is proudly brought to you by HCL Software, Paramatch, and Local Lifestyle.
Hello once again. Well, the lights are back on and we're home here at Europa Point as we get ready for the second leg of the doubleheader tonight between Bavaria and Pirates. Vinny Sounder here, Mr. Maximo, with you for ECN. And first, let's have a look at what happened in the coin toss for match 16.
Bavaria to call. Heads is the call. Wait there. It looks like a head. Yeah.
I think we'll have a bowl.
No ball.
I like that confidence. Bavaria, after getting blasted off the park, at least they won the toss. That was a little bit earlier before the interruption. We'll talk about that in a second. And Bavaria have sent in the Pirates, who only saw batting for 2 overs because the target was so minuscule. They were able to win the game with 48 balls to spare. Players coming out, and you might have noticed it's a little bit late. In fact, we lost 30 minutes of playing time because of a power outage. I'll talk about that in a moment. But first, let's have a look at the two teams. Well, you got 2 piles behind the stumps. Harry for the Pirates and Chris for Bavaria. Jamie Riley opened but got a golden duck in the last game. I'd like to see him stay up there, though, get another opportunity. Paddy Hatchman could certainly use some runs. The only way is up for the Bavarian skipper. Reyes wrecked the top order. 4 wickets for Andrew Reyes and also a handy contribution with the bat. But the Pirates had the better of the first game. Bavaria, though, maybe this suits them because I can tell you, it won't quite be the 10 overs. We'll talk about that in a second. But I think it's a good move from Bavaria because they knew that things went off the rails when they batted earlier on. They're still giving it about a 1 in 4 shot here, and I think that's fair. And Bavaria certainly have some match winners in their side that just didn't click in that first game. Now, here is the breaking news. It's not a 10-over game anymore. It's a 7-over smash. That means 2-over power play, and it means that just 2 of your bowlers can bowl a second over. And what that also means is because the game's reduced, that there's no bonus point in play. So regardless of the result here, it will be, or regardless of the magnitude of victory, it'll be 3 points for the winning team and 1 point for the losing team. So Bavaria at least get a point, but they want more than that point, I think. You can see the 7 on the board next to the over counter, just denoting that this is a 7-over smash. Let's get ready for some action. Jamie Riley to open the bowling for Bavaria. And the first one is driven inside out, and it's Packard who is keen to continue on where he left off before. He starts with 4 runs. Vinny Sounder here, Mr. Maximo, for ECN as the sky turns black, quite literally in Gibraltar with the lights going off. It's Louis Bruce back with me in the commentary box. Welcome back, Louis.
Thank you. I'm back again.
Yeah, that was a bit crazy with the lights going on. Is that something that happens often here?
No, not too often. But, you know, when it does, it can sometimes be a bit on and off. So hopefully we stay on for enough time here.
Yeah, well, 7 overs is all we need. 89, the expected score. Wow, that's very, very cheeky. I don't know if he gets all of this, but he will get a boundary. It's going to be, leg buys. So I just thought, it must have been because that ball slowed up. It's quite brave, actually, quite innovative, pretty risky, but Packard essentially responsible for another 4 runs.
Yeah, I don't know if he needs to do that. With his quality of ball striking, his hitting ability from, in the V sort of area, you don't really need to be playing fancy stuff like that.
I like that you've settled into the commentary box right now and you've learned that decision making is much easier from here. You can, and it's not like I never did anything stupid when I played, but it's very easy. But you're right, probably venturing into the unnecessary there, Packard. 4 and a 4-leg buys to get us going. Now on the charge, and reckless swing from Charles, missed by Pyle behind the stumps. It's Chris Pyle. Yeah, so if you just joined us, this game has been reduced to a 7-over match. Not because of rain or weather, but because there was a power outage that pretty much affected the whole of Gibraltar, I heard in the beginning.
Yeah.
Slowly the power has come back, but we lost power's probably off for about 20-25 minutes, I think.
Yep.
Gave us a chance to, I suppose, tell some scary stories in the dark by torchlight. Oh, that's pretty well bowled by Riley, but it's going to cost him 4. That's a pretty brutish ball from young Jamie. It raised on Reyes. It wasn't really in control. That might have been right off the handle, but it's gone for 4.
Yeah, usually, we've seen a few keep low on this pitch, but that one's just jumped off, just outside off stump. It's just jumped a little bit.
Yeah, I wonder where this hits exactly. Yeah, it might have hit the the handle, you know, like
Yeah.
the actual top of the handle. It's
Yeah.
sometimes if you get it right in the middle of that, it could bounce back to the bowler. Have you ever seen that? It's pretty rare, but I've seen it happen. Now this is in the air. Jamie Riley wants it himself. He's not going to be able to get there. So no luck for Bavaria so far tonight. Couple of false shots from Reyes, but he survives.
Yeah, unlucky. It just landed straight in between them, really. You know, well, it's not your night. It's not your night. You got to change your luck somehow, though. You know, they get a couple of wickets here, break this opening partnership.
I've got a shout out to the Gibraltarian infrastructure as well. Even though the power went out, the backup little lighting we had to keep us safe was working perfectly. Oh, now Packard gets something that he can turn around the corner. Just gets it past Jesse Segi, who is into the lineup for match 16. And it's a good chase from the young man. That'll take us to the end of the first over. And the score is 15 without loss after one. Of course, only 32 days until the European Cricket League starts, the Champions League of European Cricket. I'm going to do a word association game with you.
Okay.
Not even word. I just want you to think of a team. Go. What's the first team you think of? ECL.
Cover Giants.
Second team.
Hornchurch.
Hornchurch, yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to clap in your face like that, but I'm just trying.
Scare me.
Hornchurch, very interesting. Runners up last year. They're going to bring a big crowd.
Yeah.
I know that. I was actually at Hornchurch Cricket Club in August for their charity day and their sponsors weekend, and it was great actually. Raised a lot of money for Oddballs, which is a cancer charity there in the UK, which particularly deals with testicular cancer. You can check them out. Oddballs. They even gave me some free underwear, but I made a nice donation. Even auctioned off one of my ECN shirts for a couple of £100, which was pretty special as well. Here's Boda continuing with his spin, and Packard's after him, but it's hanging in the air a long time. Falls safely. They want to. They'll get to. But I like it that Sammy's sticking with the spin. I know that he probably, growing up, he felt it's just for mucking around. But I think he's got potential as a spinner, especially to test batters the next level up. So he'll probably bowl a mixture of off spin and leg spin tonight. Looks like an off spinner to get him started.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to see him experimenting with some different things.
This one's going the same direction. Popped up in the air, and another chase. Another successful chase. That's Julian Santos. That will pull it in, but keeps it to 2. Wonder if they're considering putting a fielder back there, considering if that's the line he's going to bowl. Suppose, though, he will be a bit unpredictable. I mean, his leg spin came out really well the other night. I would have thought he'd bowl more of those to the right-handers if he felt confident. This is hit nicely as well. One bounce for Packard. Just kind of plays the length of that, doesn't he? And doesn't try and hit it too hard. Knows he only has to get it over the infielder. And in the end, the race is away for 4 more.
Yeah, he knows he can just trust himself there. Just watches the ball onto the bat. And you see he played it with a straight bat over mid-off. I think that's the key when you're going on the back foot on this deck.
Comes away a bit. I like this. This could be a big moment in the game.
Could be massive. If you can get Packard out here, that saves you a lot of trouble.
They really like this. I got a feeling this is out. I'm just going on the reaction. We'll check it out in the replay. That one certainly curved away a little bit, but Pyle, well, could be a very good poker player. He snuck out, and it is adios. It's all over. There goes the bail. He's just out. Keeper's got a great view of that. He saw there was some space between the line and the back foot of Packard. So Boda, with the spin, does get the breakthrough. And once again, it's a magnificent piece of wicket keeping. It's pretty close to a wide. Not that the umpire could see it, but in the end, I like that take. And he's just so keen to get the ball into the stumps. He did it by any means necessary, even kind of throwing himself off his feet. But that's an outstanding bit of work. Had to be quick. I said earlier, there's 2 types of stumping. The type you have to rush, the type you don't. He did have to rush. He got there just in time. Packard goes for 13. 23 for 1.
Yeah, you mentioned earlier about having to almost throw technique away at some stage. And, you know, Pyle there just really threw himself, threw everything he had at the stumps just to get it back as quick as possible. It's paid off. We've got a massive wicket there.
13 for Packard. Certainly would take that. Bavaria trying to get something out of this. Remember, it's only a 7-over smash here, so there's only 2 balls left in the power play. Okay, another ECL team, go.
CLMS.
Good. I'm just going to do that from time to time. CLMS. Curious to see what squad they've got. They've got some guys that qualify but have moved to clubs.
Okay.
So guys like Adam Kennedy, for example. Last year they had Jacob Mulder, who's one of the best bowlers in the tournament, I thought, but I don't think he'll be playing for them this time.
I think they were the best cricket team in the tournament.
Doherty's a good player. Another offie as Harry Pyle comes out A few people said that my clapping sounded like I was slapping him in the face. I promise I wasn't. But, yeah, I like that. Now, give me a random team. That because you're an ECN fan, you know them, but maybe others, that casual watchers wouldn't know. Random team, small country. Go.
Prague.
Prague CC.
Yeah.
In Group B, I was actually chatting to their captain, Aaron Ashoka, on the phone yesterday. Czech captain as well. Hold on. And they're going to be an interesting proposition. End of the power play here, ended 2, and Pirates 24 for 1. Boda 1 for 9. Get to the big wicket of Charles Packard. Hello to Ed, who no doubt is watching as well from Luxembourg. Ed has played international cricket for both Gibraltar and Luxembourg. I saw him last year in Switzerland. Having a look at the table, we can see why Bavaria is kind of getting to the now and never kind of stage, isn't it? Because they have some tough matches as well. When we see them on Saturday night, they'll play Turek, which is actually your team, in matches 19 and 20. So you feel like to have a chance, it feels like a must-win game. And we know they can only get the 3 points maximum now because it's reduced below the 10 overs. Yeah, Prague CC are interesting. They actually have, I think it's the equal longest streak. Oh, actually, they have an active ECS streak of 19 consecutive wins.
Really?
Yeah, at the moment, which is second behind Albi Zalmi. I'm going to tell you exactly in a moment because I don't want to get it wrong. But, yeah, Prague CC, they're on 19. They won the last 4 in 22. They won all 15 in 2023. Right. Roma CC are also on an active streak of 19 ECS wins.
Roma are a very good team.
This one is more off-spin from Bali. You mentioned he's an option with the ball. Comes in probably because Boda went so well. Yeah, and yeah, that record of Albi Zalmi, 20 consecutive, but they lost in the final series in Sweden, so it broke that active streak of 20. And when we get to the ECS in Prague this year, we'll see if Prague CC can continue it. Same with Rome, which I think is around about August. I think that Prague is end of June from memory. Penciled in at this stage. Pyle faces up to Bali. Yeah, so and the thing with Prague CC, they kind of dominate the landscape in Czechia a little bit. There's also Brno, which are a pretty big club, but as far as there's around 15 or 16 clubs in Prague. But Prague CC tend to attract the better players from other clubs sometimes because they are, they're a big unit. They've got big resources. They field 3 teams in the league. There's 3 divisions in Czechia, and yeah, so they're going to have some very good players like the Beast, Sudesh Vikramasekara. Yeah, you got guys like Davitsi, Ritik Tomar, the tank. But they're in a really tough group, but they are what I call potential surprise packets. They've got guys like Naeem Lala as well, who's played a high level of cricket, played first-class cricket.
I think if they get their full team out, they could be a bit of a dark horse team, really. Yeah.
All right, in the air, won't carry down to Jamie Riley. Well, good throw, but wasted. It'll just be a long single. Yeah, I'm really interested. That's Group B. Yeah. We'll probably see the ECL draw in a moment. That'll be the end of the over. 26 for 1 at the end of 3. Let's have a look. So that's that Group B. But it is, I mean, Prague CC, they're probably seeded 5, to be honest.
Tough
I mean,
group,
Courtchurch, because they were unseeded, they're drawn in that group. So that makes Group B very, very tough. And Belgium and Sweden are just known for their big hitting. But I kind of love the more traditional nations with just 2 absolutely rogue nations, I think, in Sweden and Belgium there. But also, Prague CC are known for their attacking brand of cricket. Yeah. Bali had a ball left, actually, so this will be the end of the 3rd over now. The score is 26 for 1.
Yeah, the difference between, I mean, we look here at the ECL draw, the difference this year maybe is that Hornchurch now has some T10 experience behind them. Yeah. So that could help them massively. Obviously, any new team that comes into it that don't have T10 experience, like your Irelands, like your Englands, like your Scotlands, they traditionally struggle a little bit in the first couple of games. But with that T10 experience behind them, you never know what they could do at the start of the tournament.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. People underestimate how difficult it is to come in and play ECL cricket or ECN cricket in general, because they think, oh, it looks on TV, looks easy. You see the bloopers on the social media which go viral, but it is such a test of your skills. Bodak is going to bowl out. Remember, only 2 bowlers can bowl 2 overs, so it makes sense, I suppose, to bowl him out. Another strategy is maybe bowl 5 different bowlers and then choose who you want to have the second. But I think if someone's had a very good over and you're confident, then strike while the iron's hot. You don't want him to get left on the shelf. Sammy Boda. Oh, that's close as well, you know.
Yeah, that could
I
be
think
really
he's
good.
gone, and Reyes is going to get stumped for the second time tonight. Yeah, I think it was clever bowling by Boda, who just drifted it a little bit wider because he saw that Reyes had itchy feet, and that's lightning work once again from Pyle. The bails came off in a flash, and I don't think this is even close.
Yeah,
I mean,
gone.
I guess you'd say it's close, but the foot's in the air anyway. I don't think it's back behind the line, and it's all over. Pyle, I think he's loving the fact there's TV replays in this competition, because he's the sorts of one as a keeper that you knows out, but sometimes you have to do some convincing. But he was very, very confident. Reyes gets stumped for 6, and Pirates 26 for 2.
Yeah, I don't know how many times I want to say the same thing, really, but Pyle's been brilliant. I mean,
yeah,
that's, again, 2 quick stumpings now. He's basically made 2 wickets out of nothing, where sometimes another keeper wouldn't make it. So
you're preaching to the choir, Louis. It's a very important position.
Yeah, happy days.
I think in this form of the game as well, I mean, maybe I'm speaking from experience. I was more of a keeper/tail ender. I was a bit of a throwback, but I would believe you pick your best keeper in your T10 team, even if they don't bat. We've seen Sujith Rilagadagi, for example, readily batting 11, but he's there because he is the best man for the job, and you should have. Okay, it's great if your keeper can also be a top order bat, but I don't think it's that. It's not as necessary in a game where
in this format specifically,
exactly, especially where you've probably got a bowler that you can throw up the order as an all-rounder.
I probably agree, because of how short the format is. You can probably get away that you won't need to probably bat.
You're not planning on even getting down to 7, are you? Oh, wow. Sweeney plays all around this one. Yeah, so Prague will be an interesting proposition. I know they're very, very keen. They're very happy to have gotten through. They got through over Brno, who represented Czechia last year in a T20 final that went right down to the last over. I think it went right down to the last couple of balls. So there wasn't too much between those two teams. They're the giants at the moment of Czech cricket. Thanks for asking about that in my slightly aggressive word association game, where I try and get what's in the back of your mind.
Yeah, I have another club that I like the look of. I liked them last year, but I'll talk about after sport.
Tell me in a second. All right. Get down the ground. Sweeney doesn't really get it. He will get a single. Jamie Riley pretty straight down there.
So
okay, go on, hit me.
Yeah, another very tough group, Group F, but independent CC from Guernsey.
Indies, yeah. Good outfit. I mean, like, when they got it together with the ball in the field, they kind of set the standard in Group A last year. In the end, it was Hornchurch that knocked them out. They weren't quite able to secure a top 2. It was a very topsy-turvy Group A. In fact, I was going to talk a bit more about Group A last year. Pretty well bowled by Bode. He's been great. Now I think he's realising all that time he spent running in, bowling, medium pace. But I mean, that's experience which he takes into this. But I just think this is a bit more of a future. And it's also easier on his body. You know, he's had a few issues for such a young guy with injuries. He looks in tip-top shape right now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Was that out? Did it grab a bit of the edge on the way through? Yeah, I'm not so sure about this one. I have a feeling, just my instinct is the batter might have flicked his own pad with his bat on the way through. There's multiple things that it might have hit. Let's have a look. Oh, it wasn't that. Benefit of the doubt, I suppose, in the end. You can never really tell.
No.
It's suspiciously close to the edge, but if the umpire's not sure, then he's got to give the benefit to the batter. Pyle, looks like he needs grief counselling after that. End of 4, 29 for 2. This is just a look at the ECS this year. So obviously in Cyprus, this is the day series that you'll see. So you can see we're talking about when we'll have Czechia, for example. It's listed the second half of June. Rome is listed in August. That is subject to change, but we're pretty much locked in at least until kind of April or May. But that's the nature of it. Also planning to get back to Greece this year.
And Estonia as well, I see.
First ball of that over. Just worked away for 1. This is what you missed down the ground. Paddy Hatchman doing the fielding. Yeah, Estonia. And we actually did have a series in Estonia. It was all the way back in 2020, just a 2-day series. Off spinners are getting a few to shoot through that kind of area. So, yeah, Group A last year. And Hornchurch a really good example. These guys, they love their cricket. They play hard. They play hard on and off the field. I think, that's the culture.
Yeah.
They're a really tight-knit club. And last year, to be honest, they were thrilled to be here. But I think know, they didn't know what they were in for. They got blown away by Darmstadt of Germany on a Monday morning, the first day of the tournament, and then they were like, whoa, well, hold on a second. In fact, they ended up, in a sense, being fortunate to qualify. They came in 4th after the group stage. It was a bit of a drop up from Barley, but it's picked and it's hit really well. It's a good shot by Harry Pyle, who's having some trouble getting going in this 7 overs smash, but he doubles his score with that shot, his first boundary.
Yeah, that's, you know, pick your spot, pick your spot through cover as well. If it's floated outside the off stump, you know, you can just hit it nice straight through the line. Really, you don't have to work across it.
Oh, that's pretty close. It's gone. I just didn't see that missing, and Pyle goes 4 and out. Spin to win once again. Well, it's Barley bringing the sugar as he gets one full and straight, hits the back pad, and I think that's good night.
Yeah.
It's 35 for 3 in the 5th.
Yeah, that was a bit of a dart. As soon as you saw that come down, he didn't get his back jammed down. You had to think it was out, really. He wasn't missing much.
Yeah, it didn't have too much longer to travel as well. Check it here. Just kind of, if anything, it just kind of holds its line, doesn't it? But yeah, I think that's taken a fair piece of leg stump. And the umpiring, talked about it earlier, it's been pretty good. Pyle's annoyed. He just tried to play across that and ended up getting the timing wrong. 35 for 3. You don't think wickets would matter as much in this format, but obviously still really important to try and remove those top order threats.
Yeah.
Bavaria, essentially, it's early to say this because they have 2 matches on Saturday night, but I feel like they're playing for their tournament life here.
Agreed.
It feels like it's a must win. Bernie Burchick, the American, who's currently residing in the Netherlands, comes to the crease. Hello to all of his family as well, and friends who are watching from the Netherlands, and plenty of them in USA as well. Our first American cricketer, we think, on ECN.
Really?
In over 7,000.
Wow.
7,000 cricketers. Anyway, Barley tags this one short. Nicely played. Plays it late there, Burchick, and he's going to get 4. Well, it's his first boundary on ECN. I'm sure he'll be thrilled about that. And what I like about this is even though it's early, he's probably a bit jumpy. He just waits and he doesn't try and smash it. He just times it, gets a fair piece of it nicely away from the field at 4 runs.
Yeah, that's good. I was speaking to Bernie in the break, actually. He's really excited to play ECN cricket. I think that's amazing. If it's your first time playing, then you know you just want to get out there. You want to do well. You want to perform, and it's good for him. He's got his first boundary on the board.
Yeah, well, the countdown is on. Only 12 deliveries now.
Yeah.
In this innings, and so that was a good start, intelligent start. You know what they say in 7 over cricket, it all happens in the 6th. And it's coming up right now. Remember, only 2 bowlers can bowl 2 overs, and they've done that now. Boda bowled 2, Barley bowled 2, so we'll see 2 different bowlers. Chawla is going to get the 6th over. Well, it really didn't bounce. Oh. That's going to be 4, but I mean, it's actually a pretty good shot by Sweeney. Almost had to pull out the hockey stick, I think, to hit this away. Let's check it out in the replay. It's actually a brilliant shot because it's ankle high.
Wow.
But he gets a piece of it, 4 runs, and suddenly Pirates fighting back.
Yeah, that's a pretty impressive shot because, I mean, that's nearly gone underground after pitching.
Yeah. Let's see if you can judge this one from Chawla. So more spin. This time he gets plenty of it and it almost takes out the infielder. It's 4 more, just 2 short, a couple in a row from Chawla. And that one's going to end up in the kit bag.
Yeah, that one bounced a bit high. I mean, Alex saw it, that square leg. Was it a chance?
Well,
it was,
I didn't realise he got a hand to it because it went so quickly. I won't say he completely fancied that. It's Sawyer there, right? It's the Pirates on for 63. That'd be 9 and over. It's about par between these 2 teams. You know, that's about their scoring rate. I don't know if the fact it's a shorter game really affects things too much. I think they're already being pretty aggressive. Maybe you'd say mid-60s as par. This one probably would have been a wide, but down the ground, Sweeney will get one. He's one player which I think has another gear which we haven't seen yet, Sweeney.
Potentially.
He's been out a couple of times early in the innings, and sometimes even when he's batted longer, he hasn't really shown us, I think, his true potential.
Yeah.
Chawla trying to fight back into the over. Burchick, what's his strategy here? 16-year-old. Well, it's pull and it's gone straight up in the air. Pyle wants it. Well, you can't get there. I wonder if he just misjudged that a little bit. Looks like he might have hurt himself. He's clutching his right shoulder. Well, this is news because Pyle is slow to get up. I thought he was going to get there reasonably comfortably, but you know this, under lights on this ground, even though it's not a particularly windy night, but there's no easy high balls, didn't get there and wipes himself out. Chris Pyle, he's an important player. They don't want anything to happen to him.
Yeah, hopefully he's all right. When he clutched his right shoulder, I was a bit worried, but he seemed to get up okay, and he's getting back to the stumps now, so hopefully no worries.
Well, he's tough as an old pair of socks, Chris Pyle. He's not going anywhere, but it's a comfortable moment. I suppose as a keeper, you don't have to throw as often, so hopefully it's just a superficial blow.
Expected score is 63. What do you reckon? Tight?
That's about par for me. And that one drops a lot on Burchick, who gets some bat on it. He's going to settle for one in the end. 50's up as well. Yeah, look, for me, about that 63 is par, I think, or 65 I might have said is par. Pirates, though, when their bowling's been on, they've been very hard to get after.
Yeah.
I think they've had some games where they notably have bowled well, the first two, then they've had some where they've bowled really badly, the next four. And tonight they were back, weren't they? So let's see. That's hit so hard from Sweeney, but would you believe it? Boda didn't have to move. And in the end, it will be a single.
Yeah, just off the sound of the bat, I thought that was going pretty far, but Sam off Boda at deep mid-wicket, didn't really have to move. Safe as houses, just patrolling the rope.
It'll be the end of the over. So 52 for 3 after 6, and that gives us a chance to look at the scorecard. They're in with a chance, aren't they, Bavaria, the way things are going, kind of regardless, unless it's, even if it's magical, 70 odds chaseable, 10 and over, but I think it's important they finish, and of course they're going to have to turn to another bowler because the two bowlers that were allowed to bowl two, they've already bowled in Boda and Barley. So my guess would have been Hatchman. It is Rick Hatchman here in over number 7.
Quite surprised he's only getting one over, to be honest, but
yeah, that's one of those things, isn't it? Because you've decided to bowl out your two spinners. But I guess, I kind of agree with it because spin was working, those bowlers were working.
Yeah,
don't change it if it
enough.
ain't broke. So 3 of your 5 bowlers are only going to get one over.
Yeah.
So that's just the reality of the 7 over smash. Hatchman starts with a Y, but not a bad start. When I was playing with Rick at Costa del Sol, one of my handful of appearances, I picked up my 100th career stumping off him.
wow.
So he's got a special place in my heart because I don't play very often.
Yeah.
Followed by my 101st, the next ball. True story. All right, that's got miles in the air.
I'll take some
Sweeney
catching.
tries to drag it from outside of stump, coming down to terra firma. And now almost have a run out. In fact, Hatchman, I'm no body language expert, but Rick's not too impressed. And that one's hit the turf.
No, Big Hatchman's not too happy. Alex Sawyer, that was always going to take some catching. It went so high, and as we were talking about it before, whenever it goes up on this ground, it's pretty hard.
Poor Sawyer. His ad one's been belted to his right.
Yeah, standing on the stumps won't help his mood either.
In go the bails now. Swing and a miss from Birching. That's good running from Sweeney to just go on the fumble from Pyle. He'll be disappointed, I think, that he doesn't get the hands down. There's just a couple of times again. I'm grading the keepers in this tournament, to be honest, on a professional level. So I'm picking out things that I wouldn't normally bother with keepers that maybe were a lower level. But yeah, probably can stay a bit lower longer on just his core stats, if you like. And that's one you just needed to get the hands around. Wasn't able to. Forward to calm like that. Well, that's pretty close. I felt that he might have done a little 2-foot jump here. And, well, right on cue. And Pyle, this is what good keepers do as well. They recognise, when they might have loosened up in their technique a little bit. This could be, probably not out, but I got my spider senses going. Is there a little jump here? He's super quick. Oh!
I reckon, that's so close. That could be gone, I reckon.
I've got it.
That's out.
Yeah, is there anything ground? It depends what you mean. How long are the kind of rubber things on the bottom of his shoe?
I think there the bails get dislodged, that frame there. I think the foot is raised.
I have a feeling he might be gone. Maybe. Yeah, there we go. Great camera work as well by our crew at Spring Productions. And, honestly, I think it's the right decision. It's line ball. He thought maybe the batter might get the benefit. But, well, Pyle like I said, I really rate him highly. And he actually stayed down on that. That was one of those ones, it wasn't an easy take, so the first thing he had to do was take it cleanly and sets that one motion again. 3 stumpings in the innings. By the way, that is, Sweeney walks off like he scored 200 at Lords, but that's the most stumpings, equal most stumpings we've had in an innings now. No one's ever taken 4 stumpings in an innings. And with 3 balls to go, it'd be amazing if it was in a 7-over game as well.
That's what I say.
But he's tied some pretty good keepers. A couple that we've mentioned from teams we've mentioned already. As Garrett comes out with 3 to come, he can swing it. He does swing it, and it's going to be a French cut that's going to run away for 4. Well, Garrett will tell you he planned that on the walk out to the middle, but he was just swinging for the fences. But he finds the rope, 4 runs.
Yeah, great placement. You know, just found out where the gaps were and just pick the gap behind square just past fine leg. Great shot. Just coming back to Pyle's wicket-keeping quality. I mean, he's just been fantastic the whole tournament. That's a half chance that doesn't get taken on a lot of cases.
He's got good natural instincts is what I'd say as well. You know, obviously, when I played into cricket for Australia, that's all keeping up to the stumps in challenging situations. And there's so many parallels with this game. So I recognise it when I see it. He's got that X factor. And to be honest, there's plenty of keepers that have done very well up to the stumps in this series. In fact, everyone from Gibraltar's been outstanding. That's done the job. 2 to come then, 59, trying to crack the 60. I think they'll only get 1, so Bernie will get one more chance. Garrett, he liked the idea of running a 2, but it probably looked a long way back to the other end when he turned. So they'll settle for 1, 60 with a ball to go. Yeah, so I've got some good questions in the chat about the schedule, but yeah, there's many reasons. Some countries with their schedule are preferring once every couple of years, for example. There might be other clashes. There's other kind of agreements in place. Anyway, last ball coming up, and Bernie, I'm not sure if he gets anything on this at all. This is where you just got to kind of run for 2. See, probably would have made it. Maybe he was just waiting for the right moment. Well, do you go 3 now? Last ball. Again, that's a bit of inexperience there.
Yeah.
Might as well just keep running as it is, considering I'm not sure he even hit it. The fact they get 2 is a bonus. And Pirates are going to finish 62 for 4. So, young Bernie, I know you're watching this back, but this is last ball rules. You just got to keep running. You can see there, he was probably fortunate to get another opportunity to run the 2. And then Garrett, who's suddenly looking like some sort of Usain Bolt character, wanted the 3, but then protects the average. It'll go down as 2 byes in the end. So 62 for 4. For me, it's that kind of par score. Anybody's game. We know that these 2, they average in the 9s run rate-wise. I think it's a lot to do with if Bavaria can find some runs out of their top order. Think of the potential in their batting lineup.
Exactly.
You know, with Paddy Hatchman, their captain, due for some runs. Pyle, likewise, he liked to get his team off to a good start.
Yeah.
Jamie Riley, again, hope he gets another crack at the top of the order. But anyway, let's look back. And it was the Packard show early. We thought if Packard stayed in for the 7, could be a really big score the way that he was hitting the ball. But it was a really sharp bit of work to get rid of the dangerous Pirates opener.
Yeah, he's been fantastic. And again, he's created effectively 3 chances out of nothing. There's another one, just a little heel lift from Andy Reyes, and he gets the stumping. Then there are a few boundaries. A nice dart there from Dave Barley, who takes out the pads of Harry Pyle, just gunning into the stumps. And here we see young Bernie Birchick get off the mark. His first boundary in ECN cricket.
First boundary, and it was a nice shot, good shot selection. And didn't have the worst strike rate out there, 7 off 5 at 140. But yeah, I think the wicket of Packard just had Bavaria believing a little bit that it might be their game after a bit of a shocker in the last game. Well, it was a scary moment for Chris Pyle when he went searching for that high ball and met the ground pretty violently, but there was nothing violent about this. This was a bit of swish from the keeper, and yeah, for the 3rd time in the innings, the batter not able to get back. Sweeney went for 13 off 12. Again, one of those innings, played a couple of really nice shots, but it's the in-betweens. They're struggling to get more than that run-a-ball rate. And then this was the last ball. It was kind of a 2 where they kind of stopped for a couple of deep breaths after 1, but the opportunity presented itself. And then Gideon did his bit to try and give the opportunity of another one. So put that one in the ECN last ball folder. But yeah, maybe you can learn a little bit of something out of that last ball. Who knows? We've seen some crazy things. Maybe if you go for the 3rd there, they throw it for 4, you get 7.
Yeah.
I mean, that happened in Prague last year anyway. So you never know if you never go. 7 buys on that occasion. That's something that still keeps me up at night, that it's possible to have 7 buys in a ball. 62 for 4 then after the 7 in this reduced game, match 16 in Gibraltar. 13 for Packard, equal top score with Sweeney, but no one really setting the world on fire. Just the 2 wides in the 7 overs. I think pretty good from Bavaria. We didn't really see what they've got with the ball tonight earlier on. They only got to bowl for 2 and a bit overs, so just a bit more of a representation. And I like the work from the spinners in the middle. They were heavy on spin, weren't they, Louis?
They were, yeah. Sammy Bodo, obviously, a bit of a makeshift spinner, just makeshift at the start. But, you know, he picks up 2 for 12 off his 2 overs. Barley in, another off-spinning option. Ball's a bit quicker, flatter, 1 for 12 for him as well. Hatchman finishing off with 1 for 7, good last over. And then, you know, Purab and Jamie Riley picking up a couple of overs each.
Yeah, well, I mean, Hatchman's an interesting one, Rick Hatchman, because he's kind of got a bit of the grunt in this game. I can say he's frustrated. Maybe he's a guy who could throw up the order a little bit, maybe bat him in the top 3 and see if he can get a bit more out of Big Rick, because 63 is the target. Bavaria, they're hanging on by a thread. I think this is a must chase if they're going to put themselves in a decent position to make the 4 when we get to finals on Sunday. Vinny Sander here, Mr. Maximo, with Louis Bruce doing a fantastic job in the second share. We'll be back after this break with the final innings of what's been a thunderous Thursday here at The Rock. You're watching the ECSN.
This European Cricket Network event is proudly brought to you by HCL Software, Paramatch, and Local Lifestyle.
Buenas noches y bienvenidos. Hello, welcome back to Gibraltar. Great to have your company here. Thursday night cricket. We're in the late session. Vinny Sandhu, Mr. Maximo for ECN, and Louis Bruce joins me for the last innings of the night. It's a 7-over smash with Pirates 62 off their 7 overs. Bavaria needing 63. I had a little peek at the win predictor in the break, and we both did, didn't we? And it said 50-50, so I feel like we could be in for a close one, Louis.
In for a coin flip, and I mean, it will all depend what start these guys get off to. And I think at the non-strikers end, that may be Rick Hatchman who's opening up.
My voice must carry from the indoor area, because I was calling for Big Rick. He looked like he had the huff, and he did take a wicket when he bowled a pretty decent over. Catch went down, and he wasn't impressed, so now he's going to take out some of that frustration on the bowling. 2-over power play. And Jamie Riley, well, he's coming off a golden earlier in the night. It's Reyes to bowl to him. Reyes seemed to... He bowled well to both the left and right-handers, but he's particularly dangerous against the right-handers sliding in and beating the inside edge. There's 7 overs aside, 2-over power play in this game, and 2 bowlers can bowl 2 overs. The rest are limited to 1. Okay, here we go. 63 for the victory, Bavaria. Feels like a must-win. And Riley gets off to a pretty decent start, short, and picks the gap, 4 runs.
Yeah, great shot. I mean, I'm just thinking now, it's going to really depend this innings on how they play Andy Reyes as 2 overs. And I think Riley taking strike on the first ball as a left-hander may actually do a really good favour for Bavaria, because it means he won't be bowling to right-handers as much. But granted that Jamie can keep the strike and hit some boundaries.
It's a good point. And the other thing, I suppose, with Rick Hatchman coming up, means Pyle can bat in the middle order, probably play the situation a bit more. I feel like that might suit him a bit better as well, considering some of the other options they've got. Riley goes with the movement this time, pushes, and Giannani does the fielding. Just a single. Yeah,
Hatchman alert to the call. Probably made it himself as well, so he's keen to get down to the other end, and as you said,
I'd call Hatchman, in snooker terms, a bit of a shot to nothing here. I mean, if he goes early, that's the way it goes.
He's a bit of a lights out snooker. He's not shot to nothing.
You shouldn't. As in, there's no real downside. But I think he's going to take on Reyes. He's not going to. He might even sneak across a little bit and try and open up that leg side. Go with the movement.
Shot.
There you go. Well, that's pretty good from Rick, and it wasn't that far away from the fielder, but he had no chance. 4 runs. It's a blast from Big Rick to get him off the mark.
Yeah, if we're going snooker terms, he's going to play lights out. He's not playing shot to nothing. So a big shot here from Rick Hatchman, straight down the ground.
Good anticipation from the fielder down there, but no chance. And Reyes, just even one shot like that changes the power dynamic, doesn't it, in this first over. This time it goes a little bit inside out. Now how far is this going? Far enough. Maximo! What I like about Hatchman, he's resisting the urge. He's got the kind of angel on one shoulder, the devil on another. The devil's telling him to try and hit it across the line. But he doesn't need to. He lets that ball swing right onto his bat, and he gets 6. 4 and 6 for Big Rick at the start of this over.
I was telling him in the break, the shot he got out to last game was probably the right shot, just mistimed it. So hitting straight here, he's doing really well. This is the place to be. Hit straight, be great.
Confidence is key. This one's off the inside half. It'll get away with it. But just a single out there to Sweeney. It's just a really good example of how when you reset the scores to 0, it doesn't really matter what happened in the first game between these two. Bavaria got blown away. That'll happen sometimes.
Yeah.
And it's the beauty of the doubleheader format. It's really grown on me since we've had more of them. Barcelona, by the way, will be all doubleheader format as well.
Nice.
4 games a day. It's bowled him. Oh, that's well bowled, and so Riley just doesn't have a great night at the office. This one just kisses the stumps, I think. It's the kiss of death from big Andy Reyes, who does have something to show for his work in the first over. It's 16 for 1.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you could see out this, not see it out exactly, but just take 1 off this last ball, get out of this over, you're probably comfortable there. I think he just needs to try and...
It's good bowling, though.
Yeah, I think...
Jamie probably, when he looks back, and like I said, you can learn from every innings. This is one where...
Hit on the full.
Yeah, he's kind of going away from the ball with the footwork. Yeah. And that's a ball that just flicks leg stump. So maybe if you can stay in line with that a bit more, hold your spots, keep the ball more in front of your eyes, then you're not feeling for it as much. It did wobble a little bit from Reyes, 1 for 16. Also, I'll be curious to see if they bowl Reyes out. I feel like they probably won't because it keeps your options open as far as you bowl. I think they might, but maybe not in the third over is what I'm saying. Maybe.
Okay, I get what you're saying, yeah.
Yeah, I think
He hasn't had his best first either.
typically he's been bowling
so
1 and 3.
Yeah,
Occasionally they've thrown him a little bit later, but I just think, especially if Hatchman's still there, that maybe you can try something else and then maybe bring him back. So my normal strategy, which I go with if I'm captaining a 7-over game, is to bowl 5 different bowlers.
How often have you done that?
You know, once a century. Captaining in my mind. Anyway, Hatchman, he's after Packard here, hanging in the air, and doesn't carry to Reyes. They'll come back for 2, and they'll get there. Crichton's come out at number 3. Yeah, when I say captaining, I probably mean punditing. But bowl your 5, and then you've got all the information to work out who should get the next over, get the last 2. But there are exceptions, like we told in the first over. Someone's bowled a very good over, and you say, look, I want you to bowl your second. I'm sure I want you to. I want you to do it in the same conditions. Well, this is hanging a long time in the air, though, and it's going to just pop out of the grasp of Lamon. It's a fish out of water in that position. It's been typically at long off. Richie Cunningham with the one-handed backup fielding. So Hatchman, he's probably feeling like he's due a bit of luck. He gets a couple there. A shot that doesn't go too far out of the infield.
Yeah, I said shot initially because of how he used his feet to the ball. I really like that. He came down the track to it and nullified any turn.
Wow, that's absolutely motored. And that's going to end up with his teammates all appreciate it. Paddy Hatchman, his bro, is going to hurl it back. But that made a real thump off the sound of Rick Hatchman's bat.
There we go. That's more like it from Big Rick. Sees it and smashes it. That's all you got to do, really. That's what he's there to do at the top of the order.
Maximo time.
Maximo.
And now, just like that, they've got down to 37 required, a 5.5. Well, really gives a good look at the sticks this time, and he gets dropped. Oh, that's Sweeney down there. He's in the lemon zone. Well, Crichton looks like he's running into the wind there. Meanwhile, that might have hit the forearm of Sweeney, who's certainly in some discomfort. Chaos stuff, but Hatchman gets 2 more.
Yeah, sometimes Rick goes into this mode where he sort of calls runs that aren't really there. That wasn't that usually and shouldn't really be 2, but if they have got away with it, you could call it a stroke of genius, but we'll have to see.
In the famous words of Michael Clark, get ready for a broken arm, to paraphrase.
Yeah, he's got back.
Crichton certainly probably felt like he was running up the rock. That might have actually, that's got him pretty flush on the forearm. I wouldn't be surprised if he has, well, he might not take a breather, but he might just go out of that position. I think Lamon is saying a few prayers to the man upstairs, saying a few thank yous that he was in that position. That might have gone straight through the laminator. You never know. But in the end, they do get back for 2. So I think they need to make a correction there because it should be 28. Meanwhile, Hatchman is going to go, I think that's gone all the way, has it?
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe 4, we'll have to see.
I think that's a Maximo, but I mean, Big Rick here is playing a gem of an innings. Exactly what he's out here to do, maybe just short of the rope, yeah.
Oh, by the way, I've got, good stuff by the umpires. It was only a single because it was a short run, the ball before. That's why it had us a bit puzzled. Meanwhile, nothing short about this from Hatchman. Well, maybe we should captain from up here. You said it, I said it. Get the Big Rick out there. He's got the half. Yeah. Right now, he's going to town on the bowling, and this turning into a really good power play. In fact, that will do it. 35 for 1 off 2. Should have been 36.
Yeah.
Well, who knows? Crichton, maybe if he had to go the whole distance, he wouldn't have made it. We'll never know. But they're looking at the table. You can see if Bavaria can win this, then they'll go to 9. And they'll at least be ahead of Rugby CC, who've played the same amount of matches. Pirates are guaranteed to get a point out of this game anyway because it's reduced. But certainly Bavaria, given the match position as well, they shouldn't be bottling it from here.
No, well, you wouldn't think so. But again, anything's possible in this format. And I mean, the fight for 5th now is really tight. You know, I think Pirates have now probably secured that 3rd spot, you'd think, with Bavaria and Rugby kind of battling it out now for who qualifies into finals day. As we see Mark Garrett coming on to bowl the 3rd over. They're just thinking here, when do you bring Andy Reyes back on? Because you also don't want to leave it too late.
Yeah, well now, you're kind of hitting the panic button. But I think it's worth giving Garrett a crack here. Especially remember, Hatchman just took down Reyes in the first over. Garrett's had a pretty good series with the ball. His first one cramps up Crichton for room and won't get a run. They have it down below, run a ball now, Bavaria. It started as a 50-50 proposition, and it looks like within maybe 3 overs, Bavaria could outscore their 10-over score in the first game at 90-10 at the moment. Well, that's pretty much straight up in the air, but backwards, and should be cut off. A nice little screen set by Garrett. Stop Crichton thinking about a second run. Probably wasn't there either, but just a single, and time for more of the big Rick show.
Yeah, Rick's up for this. You can see it. He's got that look in his eyes.
Rick's a real character. Rick was the first guy to ever take me up the rock a couple of years ago, and yeah, just a big fan of his personality and the way he expresses himself. Right now, he just looks confident. Even these mishits are hitting a fair bit of bat. That's out to Lamont, just a single.
Yeah, I mean, Rick Hatchman, probably one of the nicest people you'll meet as well. He's such a nice guy, and you know, you're just happy when he does well. So he's got that look in his eyes. He wants to whack it.
I also like that he does get a bit of what we would call the white line fever.
Yeah, 100%.
I think that's a healthy dose of that. Crichton steps across, gets the inside half of the bat on this, and will get a single at the moment. That's fine for Bavaria. Yes, the white line fever. Do you have another name for that here? No, it's some different place they call it different things.
No, nothing different here.
But yeah, as soon as you cross the white line, it's almost like the most mild-mannered people can have a personality transplant. Hatchman, slow ball, clever bowling from Garrett. Kind of brave bowling as well, I suppose, because that could easily disappear. We've seen Hatchman being brutal on some of those kind of deliveries.
I guess it's a better spot to bowl it there than in the arc. So you either want to miss it wide of off or cramp him up for room, really. So clever bowling from Garrett. Just needs to get out this over, finish this one off. Finish well, only concede 3. And he does.
Yeah, just sneaks inside. This good stuff by Garrett, who brings things back to a bit of normality. So, I mean, he's a guy now, for example, probably going to bowl him in the 5th, aren't you? And just try and hold on in the game. I think he's earned a second over. None for 3 off that third. And it's 38 for 1 at the end of 3 overs.
See Reyes still just standing at long on, so he's clearly not coming on to bowl this one. But, you know, Garrett's gone none for 3 in 2 games back-to-back now, so just doing a bit of a holding role and bringing, as you said, bringing things back to normality, really.
Yes, there's an interesting decision about who you bowl now. Packard got whacked for 19. Yeah, so Giannani's going to bowl. Probably makes sense. He's seemed to get better and better as this series has gone on. But again, he's going to take all the air out of the ball.
Could be a good matchup this for bowling to Hatchman, I think.
And slides into the pad, and Crichton will be disappointed. He hasn't quite recaptured the magic from last year where he had a breakout tournament in this format. Obviously still trusting him with a key role with the bat. And Gordon will be frustrated he's missing out on that kind of delivery too often. No, doesn't miss out on this, gets a feather on it. I love that bit of fielding. Just a proper slide job there.
Ryan Grimes getting the slide out.
Grimes is fun to watch, isn't he?
Yeah.
We saw him drop a proper goober the other night as well. And he's just lurking around waiting for another opportunity. All right, this will be interesting because I think Hatchman wants to hit this up the rock.
Yep.
Kind of yorks himself. Wasn't in the greatest position, but it's going to be in the gap. And well, Lamont touched it like he was grabbing the last meatball off the barbecue there, didn't he? But eventually he was able to stop the boundary.
Yeah, just gets it back. I mean, I think Reyes probably wanted it to fling it in a bit more.
Yeah.
The last meatball. Isn't he the hot potato?
Oh, that's too obvious. Or mistumping. Oh. That's one of the more difficult ones. Harry Pyle will be disappointed that he misses out on this. Between the batter and the stumps. So it's probably not quite as difficult as down the leg side behind the batter, but it's a close second.
I think he went under the bat as well.
Yeah, you just got to play the line, and it's a big opportunity now. Hatchman takes up and starts in a different postcode, but still able to get back and reach it and get a single.
Yeah, just hits it straight down the ground for 1. Again, he hasn't really timed too much as of yet, but the ones he has timed have gone very, very far. That's all you need to do, really. Just swing, and these new Grizzly balls will fly. I found that out yesterday.
They really do.
Much.
They really do. Some, yeah.
For bowled.
Gianni's bowled a good over as well. He's only gone for 4, and that'll be the end of it. So 42. Suddenly, this isn't just a shoe-in, is it? I mean, there's only 3 overs left. They need 21. So now let's have a look at what's coming up tomorrow. Amdocs versus Royal CC. We were talking last night about the fact that Amdocs, their 11 depends on how many computers are broken in Cyprus, as they all work as in the IT industry. So I guess we'll see what kind of situation is over there. Fighters versus Black Caps. Fighters fighting for their tournament life. They're at clear 5th at the moment, and that is the last day of group action in Cyprus tomorrow. Join Rico and Charlie from 6:45 a.m. GMT, which is 7:45 in Central Europe and 12:15 in India. I've been waking up with Rico and Charlie every day. It's not what you think. Here we go with Garrett. They do bring him back, and he does get Hatchman. So Hatchman got a bit lucky in the last over. Probably should have been stumped, but now he's going to have to go. And suddenly this game is coming back in the balance because the key man, Hatchman, scored 34 of the 42 runs so far, but he has to go 42 for 2, and Garrett delivers again.
Yeah, it's a great knock from Hatchman, and Garrett doing the job, just getting it full and straight, hitting the timber. But now it all depends on how the rest of the Bavarian batting lineup, who haven't been in great form, go about the rest of this chase. You're going to see Samoth Boda come out to the crease, who is very capable with the bat.
Probably a good selection, I think, in this position. I just want to look at Pyle's keeping here. Just a little tip for him later. I've seen him do this occasionally, moonwalking, where really you should be trying to stay in the box there, and maybe that's just getting in his way sometimes. So even if he takes that,
can't get back to it.
You're not going to be able to hit the stumps, and then you might as well just start back. So it's just something maybe he doesn't realise he's doing it. Maybe it's when he loses the line of the ball, but just because I rate him as a very good keeper, that's probably something that he can look at. And you're really just trying to move sideways like a crab in that position.
I think we'll see Pyle keeping in the ECL for Kappa Giants.
Okay, great. Fantastic.
So we'll see him later on in the year.
Yeah, so that's just a little technical point that I picked up on him. Anyway, Boda comes out. And the first ball gets past his outside edge. And Bavaria, it's almost like they've peered over the crest of the hill to see the promised land, but they still got to get there.
Yeah, there's no such thing as a comfortable chase in T10 cricket unless it's really comfortable. But if it's a twitchy score like this, 63 off 7 overs, you never know what could happen.
Well,
ouch.
That's a proper shin breaker, and then Crichton comes up with the tackle. Well, you're not watching the All Blacks versus France in the rugby, even though there's similar strips at the moment. I love this bit of byplay. At least maybe the tackle distracted Garrett from the fact that he might have a broken shin bone.
Yeah, ouch. That doesn't look nice, and
remind me tomorrow, I want to see the bruise. It's going to be a proper lump, I think. Garrett, tough as you like.
Bold, nice slow ball. Worked out into the deep.
It's bowled really well.
Should just be for 1, and it will just be for 1. Mikey Lemon cleans up.
Garrett captaining the Pirates. They do have a lot of the New Zealand viewers. They're all over Pirates with the strip. Very New Zealandish.
Yeah, black and white. Classic New Zealand. And a bit of grey now, which they've put in their, I think, T20 colours in the cricket.
Sometimes they've got the old blue/teal. It's a bit of a throwback as well. They used to wear beige. New Zealand have gone through a few colours. That's even before my time.
Yeah.
It's a weird colour, almost like you washed your whites with your colours and it's just gone. And then they went through this kind of grey/silver phase as well in the late 80s, early 90s. Crichton needs to get in gear. Another one that he spoils down the leg side. Should have been a wide. Instead, they'll get a leg by, but only just. Yeah,
just opening his legs up there. Ultimately just kicks a wide, really, which sort of wastes it. But Garrett can just finish this over well. 1 for 4 off his spell so far. He's bowled such a good spell considering the game situation. And if he can just finish with a dot or not a boundary here, then he's done really well. And you'd have to think that Andy Reyes bowls either the next over or the final over, because usually all happens in the 9th. But
and Hatchman's gone now, which is a big deal as well. And then I guess it also comes down to are you wanting Reyes to be your other bowler, because Giannani did only go for 4 in his over. So remember, you can only choose one of them to bowl another one.
Yeah, that's the end of the over.
Yeah, it is the end of the over.
46 for 2.
So what have we got now? We've got 17 off 2 overs. It's getting pretty interesting. Hey, we got more cricket coming your way tomorrow here as well. And Louis, you're not playing tomorrow night, are you?
No.
What are you up to on a Friday night? Just asking.
I'm having dinner with the family tomorrow as I'm back off to the UK on Monday.
You could have them over here. Maybe you can have some dinner on the table over here. Actually, it might be Saturday. Young Bernie from America is probably going to come in and do a game because we've got a lot of American viewers. A lot of people want to hear his story. Yeah. So perhaps Saturday night we'll get him in.
I'll be here on Saturday.
Okay.
In a different capacity.
On the field, right? Hey, look, 17 off 12. It's game on at Europa Point. And they do bring back Reyes. So that's basically they're saying, Giannani, thanks for coming, none for 4. You're not going to bowl again. It means that somebody different will have to bowl the last over. Someone hasn't bowled yet. All right, here we go. And, well, Crichton likes the change, doesn't he? Launches this one out of Europa Point, and that one could be in the car park. Maximo! And nerve settler for Bavaria.
Yeah, that's what Crichton can do. I don't think many have seen it on the network, but he can hit a long ball, and when he gets going, he can be really dangerous. It's just clean strike through the ball over, wide long on again. Just coming back to what you were saying earlier of who could bowl the last over, you'd probably go to Sweeney if his arm's okay.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that's actually a good point. Otherwise, maybe you could go to
Ryan Grimes, maybe.
Thinking Lammin as well. He's not a bad bowler. Your silence says everything. But anyway, there's 11 to win. Off 11 now. Crichton finally is able to launch one. Hello to Stuart, nice to see you. And also hello to Sam Houghton, who was playing for Bavaria, but had to go back to Croatia. What's the other thing? I was looking in the chat that Rob, of course, he's got the black caps. He's a New Zealander in Cyprus to follow as well.
Oh, my.
Don't think he can run on that. So they won't.
That's another wide waisted there.
Yeah, Crichton. Again, sometimes I think some of these guys, they need to look at themselves on TV and see what's going on.
Exactly.
Crichton has spoiled probably 4 or 5 wides.
Yeah.
If they've taken them, they're probably already there. Anyway, 11 off 10. Wants to smash it. It's a long way back, but I think it was just missing. Now has to get in his bike. Oh, well. Can't handle it cleanly, Reyes, but... Oh, that
tings him on the back.
Did that get him?
Yeah,
let's have a look at it on the replay. I was just considering the LBW. I think it was just missing leg stump. But then Crichton becomes a human target. Lucky number 17. Bang. Bingo.
Yeah, bullseye, triple 20.
Great game, darts. You play any darts?
I don't know.
I can't play it, but I love watching it.
Yeah, I mean,
you're too old to start. That guy's 16 that's doing everything.
Yeah, true.
Nicely clipped away by Boda. Just need to keep scoring. Dot balls are your only real kryptonite here. Giannani had time to read a short story before he threw that in. Eventually did. And whenever you get to the last over, anything can happen. Yeah. Anything can happen. It looks like we're heading that way at the moment.
Is there a tingle?
I might have a minor tingle, yeah.
Little tingle. Just got to wonder who bowls it. If it is Sweeney, could go close.
All right, to the skies. Feels like a big moment in the game. And it's taken. Very, very good catches, Packard. Sure pair of hands under that, so Crichton, a bit like Jennifer Page, a one-hit wonder in match 16. And it's just a little crutch. It's still a little bit much for Pirates, but they're working their way back in. 54 for 3. 7 balls remaining.
Yeah, key bit of cricket that. If Packard drops that, they probably run 2, and all of a sudden it goes 7 off 7, run a ball. So it's a good catch from Packard. Key. And a good fielder to have in that position. Doesn't drop too many from what I've seen so far. As there is a bit of a tingle.
0-0 in 2024. We haven't had a golden ball yet. If we do have a tie, this is what will happen. The batting team gets 1 more ball. They need to score 2 or more to win the game. If they fail to do that, they lose the game. And we've had 50 of them all time. In fact, golden ball 50 was in the ECCW. Reyes has 1 more ball here. And it's Chris Pyle. So I said Pyle's handy to have up your sleeve. You can play the situation.
Yeah.
But Reyes gets that big wicket of Crichton, who was threatening but only really blew fire once.
Well bowled. Just pushed down the ground for 1. And all of a sudden, we have 8 off 6 off the last. And we have a bit of a tingle.
Bavaria, huge game for them as well, as far as whether they might stay or whether they might go. Coming up tomorrow night, it's going to be Friday nights, and the lights are on here at Europa Point. It's 55 for 3 after 6. Look, no wides or no balls, although Crichton probably spoiled a few while he was there.
Yeah.
And that is what we got tomorrow. Rugby CC taking on Sloggers. It's their last chance to pick up points because that's their last qualifying matches. And Rugby CC in particular kind of on the rack there. Sloggers seem to have done enough to qualify, but Sloggers also want to shore up a place in the top 2. Join me tomorrow night, possibly with a special guest. Depends what time Louis' dinner is. It's 5:45 p.m. GMT, which is 6:45 in Central Europe. It's 10:15 in India right now. Cunningham's getting a bowl. First time he's bowled since he blew his hand open, and he's going to get the last over. Now we're going to have a run out, surely.
Yes, Richie C. What a bit of cricket. I mean, with one hand, it's so good to see him with all this commitment, bowling the last over of a tight T10 and taking a strong throw from the deep and getting a batsman run out. Isn't that just commitment at its best?
Now, I should say he obtained permission to bowl with that plaster on because he did split his webbing, and so he got permission from the umpires and the opposition captain to bowl. So that's in the spirit of the game. I don't think he's getting an advantage out of it. But let's see where the running goes wrong here. Buildup just wasn't keen on the prospect. Pile becomes collateral damage.
He needs to call no there, really.
Just a communication breakdown. Maybe, Sammy was a little bit silent about what he wanted. So 1 and a run out, and that will make the score 56 for 4. And it'll mean 7 off 5. Bernie Burchick did well to get that ball in quickly to Cunningham, who had to throw with that injured hand, and I was a bit worried he's going to miss the stumps.
Yeah, well, I was a bit worried he wasn't going to pick it up.
All right, here we go. With Buildup. Gets a piece of this. Not really the whole thing. Now Buildup thinking about 2. Suddenly the roles are reversed. Barley's having none of it, and he says, "Hey, give it to me." And let's be honest. Barley could win this game with 1 swing of the bat. 6 to win off 4.
Yeah, well, not looking likely at the minute. I mean, that was nearly another run out. Cunningham could have been rolling in run outs all of a sudden.
Barley, I think he just wants to end this sideshow right now.
Agreed.
6 to win.
Well bowled, Richie.
Oh, well, I'm tingling pretty hard here. There's a lot of ways, 5 off 3, 4-1 dot. There's a lot of ways.
Yeah. If next ball's a dot, then we're on.
What about Richie Cunningham, though? The Uncle Fester of the peninsula. And that's a reference you probably won't get, but that's okay.
Nope.
6 to win off 3. Can't elevate here, Barley. Now, what do? Do you go for 2? Well, he's lying down. Lamon hands it off, rugby league style. And it will be 2. Every run's crucial at the moment. So that makes it 4 off 2, 3 to tie. So dot ball kills you here. Need to at least get 1, then you could go 2 off the last ball for a golden ball.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Barley does get the strike back. Any boundary wins it. 2 to come. Oh, it's an edge. Flying away. Got to stop it. Great stop. Really good stop. And so that will mean 2 to tie off the last ball. We could be looking at the precursor to Golden Ball 51 here live from Europa Point. Well, it's a game so ominous that knocked the power out for 25 minutes before the start of the game. And Buildup, well, one thing's for sure, that you're running for 2 no matter what.
100%.
His plan A, though, is to hit a boundary. If he hits a boundary, they win outright.
Yeah.
1 to tie, 2 to win. And Barley, he better get his skates on. 2 for a golden ball. And it's hit. Is it stopped? It is going to be 2. Run out for the win. Any good throw? Well, where's the keeper? He's gone. It's going to be a golden ball.
We've got a golden ball.
Unbelievable. Well, where was the keeper? Where was Pyle? Oh, he's lost his directions down there. He was halfway between the throw and the stumps. And Boda gets back for 2. And we have our 3rd ever golden ball in Gibraltar. And it's our first golden ball. I think the streak is broken at 52 matches, on 53 matches without a golden ball. But high drama here. Unbelievable. I said at the break we had a tingle. Remember, the win predictor was saying 50-50. In the end, it's still a 50-50, Louis.
Yeah, I mean, I clearly bring the exciting games when I come into this, because we've had a few thrillers between Bavaria and rugby the other night, and now we have this, a golden ball, the first of 2024.
Well, they should never have gotten 2 there. I mean, that was criminal, really. It was burglary in the first degree. This is our first golden ball for 2024. Last year it was 7-6 to the bowlers, and the batters have fallen behind it. At one point it was 10-10, but in the last 20, the batters, or in the last 30, I should say, the batters have only won 10 of them. So this is about as exciting as it gets, and this is why you stay up late. It's 23 past 10 on a Thursday evening here, and we are going to Golden Ball 51. Okay, put yourself in the batter's shoes here. With Tyrone, he's loving it. He's a bit of a golden ball magnet as well.
Really?
A couple of years ago in Gibraltar, he was here when we had 2 golden balls in 3 matches. Let me just be clear. To face the golden ball, you need to have not been dismissed in the innings.
Yep.
So I think it'll either be Barley or Boda. I don't even know who you'd rather
I'd
have.
probably go with Boda, really. I think, just clean contact, clean striking. And even if they can just scramble too, Barley needs to be backing up a lot, though, because they need to just scramble too if they can.
So anyone can bowl, and they've gone for Reyes. Interesting choice. Who would you have gone for? I mean, Garrett took 1 for 6 off his 2 overs. Reyes took 2 for 24, but probably on the form of the whole tournament, they like Reyes here.
I'd probably agree with Reyes because, I mean, I think they're probably going to try and hit him pretty hard, and that's where he makes a few mistakes. If he can land one in the right area, he's going to be hard to get away for 2. And if they miss it, they're definitely not running 2 on the arm because the keeper's standing up.
I still don't know where Pyle went. Did he just forget where he was? Now, I like this as well because they're going for a faster runner. So, essentially, people can take part in the golden ball as long as they haven't been dismissed. So this is quite clever captaincy, and it's completely legal by Paddy Hatchman.
Yeah.
He's going to drag Barley because Boda is going to face it. And so, they've decided that they want to go for a faster option. That's clever captaincy.
Yeah, it is, and it makes perfect sense. Paddy Hatchman's a good thinker when it comes to a cricket match. So he's just thinking his way through this one. Hopefully, for Bavaria's sake, it pays off, because if it does come to them not hitting a boundary and they have to scramble too, then they've definitely made the right choice.
Yeah, so Boda. These are all the golden balls last year. Right. And you can see there's a bit of a run. Some batters, some bowlers. Started with 5 in Malta, and the last one was a crazy one. It was to decide who gets through to the finals. It was actually stumped in the end. All right, so simple as this. Can't be a tie after this ball. Bavaria need 2 to win or more. If it's 1 or if there's no score at all, then it's Pirates. And this is about as big as it gets. Bavaria with a golden ball really to keep themselves into competition. It's Boda to face Reyes. Golden ball 51. Hits it
Gotta
now.
go.
To the place, surely. Got to get back
close.
for 2. Can they find it? Should be gone. It is gone. And so Boda can't get it out of the infield, and the Pirates win in golden ball 51. It's another one for the bowlers. Boda gets them so close, but he can't get them over the line. Heartbreak for the Bavarian fans, but the Pirates still in a thriller.
Yeah, Pirates up and away in 2024. First golden ball of the season, and the Pirates have taken it home. Good fielding positioning, really. I mean, as soon as it didn't get past that fielder, they were never going to get 2.
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, he kind of fumbled it for a little bit there, Lammin, but he was smart. He knew just get an early throw. You got to feel for Jesse Segi as well, who certainly was off to the races. He'd been instructed well, but just straight to the fielder. 5 metres either side, they probably win the game.
Reyes threw it as well.
Yeah,
Reyes could have walked up to it.
Probably, but that's panic, and he's thrilled about it. That's one of the great bat tosses from Segi as well. That's his most meaningful contribution with the bat. Not his fault, though. Not even Boda's fault, really. Reyes got it in a good spot. Remember, I mean, the bowlers, they've got pressure on them as well to deliver a good ball. They don't want to deliver a wide or a no ball, which will make the equation much easier for the batters. But, well, Bavaria, they are really pushing it uphill. They will take a point out of the game, though. We'll say that. 3 points, though, to Pirates, who take 7 out of a possible 8 here on night number 8. And yeah, you got to feel for Bavaria, although they will have one last roll of the dice against your team, Tarek, on Saturday night. They're a team that'll be fired up after that. Rugby CC taking on Sloggers the next time you'll see us. That's on night 9 tomorrow night, 5:45 p.m. GMT, which is 6:45 in Central Europe, and it's 11:15 in India. So the 7 over smash turns out to be golden ball 51. And you know what I really like to see? When we get to reset the counter to golden ball 0. So I don't know if Rico and Charlie are still up. It's pretty late in Cyprus, 11:30 their time. Right. But they're going to wake up to a little bit of a surprise tomorrow morning, because we've done it, Louis.
Yeah,
you and
we've
me.
done it.
We've done it together. I suppose the players as well. Highly entertaining game, but it is the Pirates that get over the line. So first golden ball for 2024. But before that, I mean, Packard went out there, and remember early on that he set the pace for the Pirates, but then when they switched over, it was Big Rick that took over the mantle, didn't he? And this was a very important start. Got his team in a winning position. It's just quite unbelievable that they couldn't quite finish it off.
Yeah, well, you just see how T10 goes. I mean, when Hatchman was at the crease, you know, they were flying. It looked like a pretty routine chase, but as soon as he went, all of a sudden things just started to crumble a little bit. Panic started to settle in. You see here, you're just smashing boundaries all over the place, offside, onside.
Just never say never.
Down.
Never say never, I suppose.
Yeah.
Especially in a shortened game, 10's pretty short. And that is the turning point, isn't it?
Big moment, that.
As Garrett was able to get his man in the end. That was after a missed stumping before that. Garrett might have a bit of a sore shin in the morning. And even though Crichton gave him a cuddle to try and settle him down, it was almost like feeding time at the zoo there, wasn't it, in that ball? But what I will say is that in these shortened games, the momentum shifts can come even quicker. And so that's what you saw there as suddenly the number 17 on Crichton looked like a bullseye. That was a nice catch by Packard moving round to his left. And then, well, you got to feel for Richie C here. Richie Cunningham bowled a really good last over.
Yeah.
He was able to get this one out. There was a bit of confusion. That was the end of Chris Pyle. And then we saw Barley come out, and he hit the ball okay. We can see, I still am not quite sure what happened with Harry Pyle behind the stumps, who just kind of chased the ball. Maybe thought it was his, but I thought it was always going down to the sweeper.
Maybe he went to try and help from the halfway and get it back quicker.
But that left nobody at home, didn't it? And then, well, Boda frustrated because it was probably hittable, couldn't get it out of the infield, and the Pirates, well, that's the scenes we love to see in ECN cricket. It is something different. It gets the juices flowing like nothing else on a cricket field, and so you got to feel for young Jesse Segi as well. Went out there. It was a clever tactical switch to get him out there to run, to try and get that second run, but there was just no chance and no panic in the end from the Pirates, who finish it off. So the game tied at 62. Rick Hatchman with 34 off 16, but nobody else able to get double figures. And the other thing for the Pirates, I talked about their bowling pressure. They haven't served up a lot of fruit. No wides or no balls in that 7 overs. So really, if they delivered any, maybe it would have been a different result. But in the end, we talked about their bowling tactics and who they might go for. They just seemed to pull the right strings. Reyes bowled the first over, didn't quite go to plan, got taken down by Rick Hatchman, but then Packard went the journey as well. Garrett brought it back. They decided to hold Reyes back for the end, and then kind of a hunch-based captaincy decision. Bowl Reyes the golden ball, even though someone like Garrett had better figures, but it worked out all right. 2 for 24 for Reyes, and also a winning golden ball. Garrett 1 for 6, the best of the bowlers. But shout out also to Giannani and Richie Cunningham there, who kept the game alive. Yeah. And ultimately, it was a successful over because they do push it to a goal. Crazy game. Yeah, crazy. That's T10 for you, isn't it? I mean, big Rick Hatchman was there and looked like a pretty easy chase. He goes, everything changes. But I mean, I've got to give a lot of respect to Richie Cunningham for after his hand and his webbing and everything, after bowling that last over and actually stopping 2 balls and getting a run out of one of them is really impressive. Yeah, well, I thought he might have got a new injury, throwing the toys out of the cot there in the 7th over as well. Everyone was pretty animated. That's the thing about ECN cricket. It'll get you feeling things. And that's what it's all about. I want to say a big thank you to everyone in the chat as well, to Chris Ward, to Shiran Amin, as well as Rob Thompson in New Zealand, Chris Smith as well, to Jules, to Stuart, to Trip and Kitty in America, to everyone else, to Mrs. Birchick as well. I think she's happy with the result. But in the end, it's a low-scoring thriller. Twin scores there, 62 for 4 off 7. So yeah, it looks like it was just fate. We had a power cut. It became a 7-over game. 7 over bashes. You need them more often. It was just meant to be. Second time, in fact, we've had a golden ball in a reduced match. It happened in Portugal once upon a time early in 2022. That was in the game that went viral for a certain batter getting hit in an uncomfortable area. True story. Anyway, I want to thank my special guest, Louis Bruce, once again. Hopefully we see you on the field on Saturday night. That's the plan, I know. Enjoy your dinner with your family tomorrow night. They must be very proud of you. And we are as well here at ECN. You're a great success story. Thanks to everyone in the chat. I'll remind you, because we are running a bit over time now, to like the video if you're watching on our YouTube channel, ECN European Cricket Network. Every subscriber is one closer to 400k, and we're hoping to get there at some point this year. Don't forget also our social media at European Cricket, and our website, europeancricket.com. You see it at the bottom of your screen there. That's where you get all the stats, fixtures, and all the standings as well. Spain's up there already. That starts on Monday, so that's coming. Our last words, Louis, how are you feeling?
Pretty good. I've brought the first Golden Ball 2024.
You know what? Charlie and Rico are going to wake up green with envy. Louis, you're now a Golden Ball commentator.
Yep.
It is an exclusive club. But it's been great to have you with me once again. Hopefully I can get you in here before the end of the week. But if you're busy, I can totally understand. Maybe on finals day if you've got a game off.
You never know.
We can
hopefully
sneak
maybe
you
in between.
Well, from everyone here at the European Cricket Network and the European Cricket family, it was a game so good it knocked the power out. But in the end, it was the Pirates that found the treasure below deck, and it's Bavaria overboard. They'll be fighting for their lives on Saturday night, but join us tomorrow, Rugby and Sloggers, to go head-to-head as this Final Four takes shape. Mr. Maximo here, Vinny Sandhu for ECN. On behalf of all of us here in Gibraltar, hope you have a happy and a safe evening. See you in tomorrow in Cyprus virtually, but then I'll be back here at The Rock for more ECSN. Here's some of the best bits of night number 8. It was one to remember. Hasta mañana.